Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, fine. Yep.
Okay, thank you. Well, nice
ส
to
วัสดี
see
ครับท่านอาจารย์ครับสวัสดีครับ
you.
ผมครับผมอัครพลครับ
อ๋อตัวจริงเสียงจริงแล้วนะคะ
นี่เนี่ยตัวจริงหน้าอาจจะไม่เป็นไปตามที่อาจารย์คาดสักเท่าไหร่นะครับ
ไม่เป็นไรค่ะไม่เป็นไรค่ะในยุคไฮเทคทุกอย่างเป็นไปได้หมดค่ะ
ท่านอาจารย์ภาระเยอะเลยขอบคุณมากนะครับที่กรุณา
no problem ไม่เป็นไรค่ะ
บรรยายวันนี้ก็จะมีท่าน professor ไมค์นะครับจากอเมริกานะครับซึ่งท่านมาที่
Mike are you Mike
Mike
Yes.
I think yeah Professor Mike he is our regular professor he always visit Buriram Rajabhat University I think at least 10 times already right to
really?
attend our international conference that annually organized at Buriram Rajabhat University
Okay.
right
Where you
Please wait
from
for
Mike?
what?
Yeah, which
Mike,
state
yes.
or which university?
Niagara University in New York.
Oh, New Yorker.
Well, I'm Canadian though. I'm Canadian,
Oh,
but
I see.
I teach in New York, just across the river.
I see. That's how I went to Canada too. I went to New York and then we just stepped over across the border,
Yeah.
take immigration free, and then visit Niagara Falls.
Yes. Well, I live maybe a mile from Niagara Falls.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, people just say, like Niagara Falls on the Canadian side is more beautiful once we
is.
were in America. But once we get there, I said, why are you here? America's side is more beautiful. I said, come on. So anyway, what is the conclusion? Which side is more beautiful?
The Canadian Falls is more beautiful than the American Falls because it's a double.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't trapped by that then. So it was correct that
Now,
Canadian side.
did you get down to Niagara on the Lake when you were in Niagara Falls?
Yep.
That's where I was born, in Niagara on the Lake.
Wow.
And that's where I am right now. My sister lives here, so I'm at my sister's house right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, how could you stay awake then?
Well, because
might not.
Dr. A asked me to stay awake. That's why.
You know what? You can doze off during my talk because my talk is boring. You can doze off.
So Professor Mike he's going to give a talk after your Professor Busaba. Yes. About 30 minutes. I think now he's feel sleepy, I guess. What time is it in America again, Dr. Mike? Professor Mike?
3:20 in the morning.
3:20. Wow, it's early morning.
Yeah.
Really?
Morning.
Oh, so sorry to
really.
disturb you. So sorry, sir, to disturb you.
Such a devotion from the
Yeah.
speaker,
Yeah.
And
your
that's why I said,
contribution, yes.
why you pick the time in the afternoon? Because I'm going to, give a forum to Chulalongkorn University next month. And that's why I have to pick the time, from 9 to 11 a.m. only. Otherwise, my speakers on the forum will be collapsing, really. So Mike, I don't mind if you doze off during my talk, really. I really don't mind at all.
So
How
thank
is
you
it
very
going
so
over
much.
there?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Is it like your place is COVID free?
It's pretty good. Everything's open. Canada's not. Canada's still waiting to get more vaccinations, but New York State is in really good shape. Really good shape. Yeah. So
Okay.
everything's open. We play golf. We don't need masks. We can do all kinds of things. So.
Well, we will be there at that stage one day. We'll be there.
Bangkok's not very good though, is it? Bangkok's got some problems.
Yeah, it's too risky now. Staying in Bangkok, so many COVID cluster in different parts of Bangkok now. So I don't think it's a good idea to visit Bangkok at this time, right?
Well, will it be okay? I'm thinking of changing my flight. I had a flight booked for September 21st.
Come on.
I was thinking of going for the month of January and the month of February.
I think at the time the situation will be better, I guess. Next year, Ajahn Busaba, I guess so. After this year, the situation of COVID-19 will be better.
Yep, right. Yeah. I'm sure. So don't buy any tickets right now. I wasted a lot of money already last year. I know over the plane tickets.
I booked one for September 21st, but I have to cancel it and then rebook.
September is too a dangerous time to
Yeah,
travel
no, I know.
right now.
Yeah.
Ajahn Busa, please wait for a while. Our president is coming to preside over the webinar. All right. And our friend from Myanmar, I think Shua Isu, some of them are coming, and also our friend from India. Sawadee from India. Mingalaba. Yeah. And Professor Kambi from India, now he's here, he's coming. Professor Kambi from Manipur University, India, together with his colleagues, also coming. All right. Where is Professor Nini? I think she is coming now. Professor Nini from Mandalay Distance Education, Myanmar. Okay. Okay, just let me call my president now. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nini, how are you?
Fine. Thank you. And you?
We are doing good. Thank you. And you are from
Professor Busaba, let me introduce to you. This is Professor Nini. Yes. Professor Nini from Mandalay, Distance Education. All right. MUDE. MUDE, that means Mandalay University of Distance Education.
University of Distance Education, Myanmar.
Yes. So Professor Busaba, last 2 years, we organized international conference in her city, Mandalay city.
I see.
This conference co-hosted by my university, and her university is a big event at the time. So about, I think, nearly 1,000 participants took part in this conference. It's co-hosted by Professor Nini.
Wow. What an accomplishment. Great job then. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very impressed.
Now our president will be with other guests. Professor Malini, she's ready to deliver an opening speech, I think. Ajahn Jinny, are you here? Miss MC?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, please. Now it's your job. It's your job to
yes.
How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm really great. Nice to see you again, Dr. Smith.
Yes, good to see you.
Okay, Dr. Ek, now we have 26. Do we need to wait for more participants?
I don't think so, because now it's time set already. So we just keep this schedule as usual.
Okay, thank you. So let me start. So, Sawadee ka. Once again, good afternoon, all participants, and welcome to the new PhD student orientation and ELT meet and greet. The topic today is very wow for me today. So these programs organized by the faculties of Humanities and Social Sciences, Buriram Rajabhat University, Thailand, and I am Jintana Vacharapodikon, or please call me Ajahn Jinny. I will be the MC of today's webinar. So I think now is the time to have an opening ceremony. So upon this time occasion, may I invite Associate Professor Malini Jutopama, President of Buriram Rajabhat University, to deliver an opening speech, and Assistant Professor Dr. Akaraponya Maihom, the Dean of Faculties of Humanities and Social Sciences, to give a reported speech. Please welcome.
สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์อยู่ในห้องแล้วเนาะค่ะอยู่ในห้องแล้วท่านอาจารย์บุษบาผมขออนุญาตนำเรียนเป็นภาษาไทยให้ท่านอาจารย์สั้นๆนิดหนึ่งนะครับก่อนที่จะนำรายงานเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเรียนท่านอธิการครับวันนี้เป็นวันจัดปฐมนิเทศอย่างเป็นทางการสำหรับนักศึกษาระดับดุษฎีบัณฑิตนะครับสาขาวิชาการสอนภาษาอังกฤษ18ท่านนะครับจากประเทศไทย6ท่านแล้วก็จากประเทศเมียนมาอีก12ท่าน ซึ่งได้รับเกียรติอย่างสูงยิ่งนะครับจากท่านศาสตราจารย์ดร.บุษบานะครับท่านได้กรุณามาเป็นองค์ปฐกในวันนี้หัวข้อน่าสนใจมากนอกจากท่านศาสตราจารย์ดร.บุษบานะครับก็จะมีท่านเขาเรียกว่าอาคันตุกะศาสตราจารย์นะครับจากอเมริกาเป็นเพื่อนเก่าของท่านอธิการนี่แหละครับคือ Professor ดร. Mike is our president here ที่อเมริกาตอนนี้ตีสามนะท่านอธิการครับแต่ท่าน Professor Mike ก็กรุณานะครับอยากมาพบท่านอธิการก็เลยมานั่ง ร่วมพิธีเปิดด้วยหลังจากนั้นท่านก็จะกลับไปเช็คอันแนปนอนนิดหนึ่งแล้วกลับมาบรรยายต่อจากท่านบุษบานะครับหลังจากดร. Mike บรรยายเสร็จนะProfessor Nini นะครับเพื่อนซีของท่านอธิการอีกคนนะครับก็จะร่วมบรรยายด้วยนะครับและปิดท้ายด้วย Professor Gambi จากอินเดียนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นกิจกรรมวันนี้นะครับก็ถือว่าเป็นโอกาสดีมากที่มีศาสตราจารย์4ท่านมาให้แนวทางในการเรียนปริญญาเอกอย่างไรให้ประสบผลสำเร็จนอกจากนั้นเราก็จะมีท่านกรรมการหลักสูตรคือท่านผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.นวมินทร์นะครับซึ่งเป็นรองอธิการบดีด้วยเป็นกรรมการหลักสูตรด้วยก็จะมานำเสนอรูปแบบโครงสร้างหลักสูตรตลอดถึงการจัดการเรียนการสอนในช่วงท้ายกิจกรรมสุดท้ายจริงๆนะครับจะเป็นการพบปะพูดคุยระหว่างนักศึกษา18คนเขาก็จะตั้งกลุ่มไลน์เขาแลกเปลี่ยนเรียนรู้นะตั้งหัวหน้าห้องโน่นนี่นั่นนะครับก็ถือว่าพิธีปฐมนิเทศวันนี้น่าจะสมบูรณ์แบบขออนุญาตนำเรียนท่านอธิการเป็นรายงานเป็นภาษาอังกฤษนะครับ Now just please allow me to give a report to our president in English version Associate Professor Malini Yutopama, the President of Buriram Rajabhat University. On behalf of the Ph.D. Curriculum Committee holding this webinar, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the President of Buriram Rajabhat University, Associate Professor Malini Yutopama, for her invaluable time to preside over the Ph.D. orientation workshop today. The webinar on new Ph.D. student orientation and ELT scholar meet and greet is being held under the PhD Talk Series Episode 3 with the following purposes. First, to hold an official opening ceremony or orientation ceremony for the first intake of new PhD in ELT student. And second, to provide them with a good opportunity to meet and greet, and also to learn from the well-known scholars of English language teaching. And the last one is to establish academic collaborations between Buriram Rajabhat University and other universities both in Thailand and around the globe. At this online workshop, we are very honored to have a lot of well-known professional guest speakers who are going to deliver different interesting topics as follows. The first keynote speaker from Silpakorn University, Thailand, Professor Dr. Busba Kanok Silapatham, who is going to deliver a speech on how to survive a PhD program and thrive as a promising scholar. The second guest speaker is the BRU close friend, that is Professor Dr. R. Michael Smith from Niagara University, USA. He will give a talk on top tips and techniques of how to successfully combine work with a PhD. The third invited speaker is Professor Nini Lai from Mandalay University of Distance Education, Myanmar. She has been to Buriram Rajabhat University for attending different international conferences several times. Her speech today is entitled Researcher, Community, and Supervisory Support Leading to Practical Research. The last guest speaker is from Manipur University, India, Professor Dr. Gambi Singh. He will be giving a talk on exchange PhD programs between BRU and India, opportunities and challenges. Moreover, we also have with us Assistant Professor Dr. Namamin Prachanan, Buriram Rajabhat University, Thailand. He is one of the PhD ELT Curriculum Committee who will be talking about learning management of a PhD at BRU. By the end of this webinar, it will be a special session provided for the 18 new PhD students who will be taking this a good chance to exchange their personal information and also get to know each other. Not only 18, new PhD students take part in this seminar, but also other participants from different institutions from Thailand, Myanmar, and India energetically join this webinar. At this auspicious moment, I would like to sincerely call upon Associate Professor Malini Jatupama, the President of Buriram Rajabhat University, to officially open the webinar on New English Student Orientation and ELT Scholar Meet and Greet. Please.
Professor Dr. บุษบากนกศิลปธรรมค่ะ Professor Dr. Michael Smith Professor Dr. Nini Rai Professor Dr. Gambhir Singh Honorable guests from different institutions HUSOC-BRU English Language Teaching Program Committee Ph.D. students, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the ELT Ph.D. program under the HUSOC faculty for inviting me to preside over the Ph.D. talk series, New Ph.D. Student Orientation, and ELT Scholar Meet Greet held via Zoom today. On behalf of Buriram Rajabhat University, I would like to express my sincere thanks to a well-known keynote speaker, Professor Dr. บุษบากนกศิลปธรรม from ศิลปากร University, Thailand, who is going to deliver a very interesting topic on how to survive a PhD program and trip as a promising scholar. Not only a Thai keynote speaker was officially invited, but also the other three guest speakers were invited as the following: Professor Dr. Michael Smith from Niagara University, USA, Professor Dr. Gambhir Singh from Manipur University, India, and Professor Nini Rai from Mandalay University of Distance Education, Myanmar. Certainly again, academic. I can guarantee you that because of their excellent academic experiences, you all will certainly gain academic benefit from their insightful talks, particularly the eligible PhD students of the first interview obtain the crystal and practical guideline of how to study a PhD successfully in a time frame set by Buriram Rajabhat University. I highly hope that not only PhD program students, but also ELT scholars will gain academic benefit from the informative speech delivered by our well-known guest speakers. Last but not least, I would like to sincerely thank our four guest speakers from both Thailand and overseas PhD program committee, eligible PhD students, and all participants. At this opportune moment, I would like to declare the webinar on New PhD Student Orientation and ELT Scholar Meet and Greet officially open. Thank you all very so much.
รายการนี้เป็น Meet and Greet นะครับ เดี๋ยวขอนำเรียนท่านบุษบาให้ท่านได้การทักทายเป็นภาษาไทยนิดหนึ่งนะครับ แล้วก็น้องจินนี่พิธีกรก็กรุณาสรุปเป็นประเด็นเป็นภาษาอังกฤษให้ฟังนะเพราะว่าดร.ไม้ง่วงนอนแล้วตี 3ที่เดี๋ยวจะเป็นการทักทายท่านบุษบา working woman นะครับหญิงแกร่งเหมือนกันเลยครับ
ท่านศาสตราจารย์ดร.บุษบานะคะท่านศาสตราจารย์ดร.บุษบากนกศิลปธรรมนะคะท่านดร.ไม้คะคิดถึงอยู่นะคะแล้วก็ท่านนีนี่ค่ะอธิการรออยู่ที่บุรีรัมย์นะคะแล้วก็ท่านดร.กันบีซิงนะคะขอบคุณมากๆค่ะขอบคุณคณบดีคณะมนุษยศาสตร์ด้วยนะคะแล้วก็ขอบคุณท่านรองอธิการบดีฝ่ายกิจการต่างประเทศนะคะขอบคุณทีมงานของคณะมนุษยศาสตร์และสังคมศาสตร์นะคะท่านดร.ศาสตราจารย์ดร.บุษบาครับปีนี้เราเปิดการสอนภาษาอังกฤษค่ะระดับปริญญาเอกนะคะซึ่งเป็นปีแรก แล้วก็ท่านโปรเฟสเซอร์ท่านนี่ก็ได้กรุณานะคะได้ประชาสัมพันธ์ให้เราจนเป็นที่สนใจจากทางนักศึกษาของชาวพม่านะคะมาเรียนกับเราอยากเรียนท่านนะคะท่านดร.ไมค์เดอร์สมิธนะคะก็คือว่าเราก็เปิดปริญญาเอกบริหารมาพอสมควรปีนี้เราก็ได้จากต่างประเทศจีนมาเรียนถึง18 คนค่ะทางระดับปริญญาเอกค่ะแล้วระดับปริญญาโทอีกประมาณ12 คนนะคะที่มาเรียนกับเราพอเปิดการสอนภาษาอังกฤษก็มีทั้งสนใจทั้งชาวไทยและชาวต่างประเทศแล้ววันนี้เราคิดว่าการประถมนิเทศวันนี้นะคะเราจะเป็นเครื่องยืนยันเพราะที่การก็พูดตลอดเวลาว่าเราจะประกันการสำเร็จการศึกษาค่ะท่านอาจารย์ดร.บุษราคะเพราะว่าที่นี่นั้นเป็นที่ประกันการสำเร็จเพราะเราคิดว่ากระบวนการของหลักสูตรนะคะแล้วก็กระบวนการติดตามของเรานั้นเป็นไปอย่างต่อเนื่องนะคะนักศึกษาท้อเมื่อไหร่นะคะเราได้คุยกันพูดกันสำหรับผู้ที่กำกับเรื่องของวิทยานิพนธ์ถ้าเราถือการกำกับติดตามอย่างจริงจังนะคะให้กำลังใจเป็นระยะไม่ทิ้งเขานะคะที่การเชื่อว่าเราจะพูดคำได้เลยค่ะว่าเราจะประกันการสำเร็จการศึกษาพอเราทำเรื่องนี้มาเราทำมาสัก2-3-4 ปีที่ผ่านมานี้นะคะก็ทำให้เป็นที่สนใจของนักศึกษาว่าอาจารย์ของเรานั้นก็จะต้องพยายามที่จะติดตามแล้วเชื่อว่าคุณภาพหลักสูตรของเราคุณภาพของอาจารย์เราสิ่งสำคัญค่ะท่านโปรเฟสเซอร์ทุกท่านนะคะที่วันนี้ก็คือว่าคือท่านทั้งหลายนี่แหละค่ะที่เป็นกัลยาณมิตรต่อเราเพราะเราถือเรื่องวิทยากรผู้เชี่ยวชาญเป็นเรื่องสำคัญเรากำหนดเลยนะคะว่าจะต้องเชิญวิทยากรที่เชี่ยวชาญที่เก่งๆมาเพิ่มเติมให้นักศึกษาของเราทั้งระดับปริญญาเอกและปริญญาโทเพราะฉะนั้นการประถมนิเทศวันนี้ก็อยากเป็นเครื่องยืนยันให้นักศึกษาที่เข้าฟังอยู่ตรงนี้นะคะว่าวิทยากรวันนี้ท่านจะเห็นว่าเป็นเบื้องต้นนะคะจะติดตามกันมาอย่างใกล้ชิดแล้วท่านก็จะมาให้อะไรกับนักศึกษาปริญญาเอกของเราและให้เชื่อมั่นว่าถ้าที่การพูดคำว่าประกันการสำเร็จการศึกษานั่นคือท่านประสบสำเร็จออกไปแน่นอนแล้วในเวลาที่เหมาะสมด้วยนะคะไม่ใช่ว่าการสำเร็จการศึกษาคือปล่อยเรียนไปเรื่อยๆนะคะการกำกับการสำเร็จการศึกษาโดยมีระยะเวลากำหนดจะเป็นผลทำให้เขาเกิดกำลังใจนะคะแล้วที่การเชื่อว่าเขาเมื่อจบไปได้อย่างตามกำหนดที่เรามีมาตรฐานการเรียนแล้วเนี่ยเขาจะทำประโยชน์ให้กับสังคมได้เยอะค่ะที่นี่คือมหาวิทยาลัยนะคะแห่งการเรียนรู้ตลอดชีวิตของชุมชนท้องถิ่นด้วยค่ะเป็นการให้โอกาสที่เขาจะมาต่อเติมและปีนี้เราก็ได้รับแรงพลังจากทางท่านโปรเฟสเซอร์นี่นะคะได้ประชาสัมพันธ์จนมีนักศึกษาของชาวต่างประเทศนะคะของพม่ามาเรียนกับเราอีกนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นอยากเรียนท่านทุกท่านว่าขอบคุณเป็นอย่างยิ่งนะคะท่านวิทยากรรับเชิญในวันนี้ที่กรุณาต่อมหาวิทยาลัยราชภัฏบุรีรัมย์นะคะแล้วเราหวังว่านักศึกษาปริญญาเอกนะคะที่สนใจเข้าฟังวันนี้และสนใจเรียนกับเราจะมีความมั่นใจว่าจะร่วมมือกับอาจารย์ของเราในมหาวิทยาลัยแล้วนำพาสู่ความสำเร็จไปยังท่านและมหาวิทยาลัยด้วยค่ะขอบคุณค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ
ขอกราบขอบพระคุณท่านอธิการบดีนะคะขออนุญาต so let me just translate our president word to all of you. So she has sent love and greet to all of us from to the speakers and all the PhD student and all the master degree student that with us today. And even this is like the first year that we have an ELT PhD program, but this orientation can like the first guarantee from our university that we will prove that we will take care of our students, not just only teaching, but we will have the expert to help the student. We will invite all experts from around the world to teach our students in order to help our students finish the PhD in the framework. And we are BRU, the University of Local Development Local. So we believe that the student that graduate from our university can do a lot more, can do more useful thing to the country. And wow. So this is what the message.
You're the great translator. Do you agree with me, Adan Musaba?
I try my best.
That's very good job. Adan Jinny, not just only the students and the lecturers, but the dean of graduate school also be with us. Assistant Professor Dr. Naramon. I think you can introduce her to all of us. Naramon. Dr. Naramon, can you turn on your camera, please?
Dr. Naramon, I cannot see.
Dr. Naramon she's the dean of graduate school. She was invited to take part in this orientation ceremony as well, right? So I think we are going to have a group photo before very important session. And Dr. Mai will get back to his bedroom and take a nap for a while and then come back after Dr. Busaba's speech. All right.
So please turn on your camera. Okay, so we're gonna have the first chart first. 1, 2, 3. Even we are online, but big smile, please. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Eka, shall we start the first section now?
Yes, please. Dr. Mike, you like to be with us, or maybe you get get back to your bedroom, and after 1 hour you can get back to meet us here, right? Thank you very so much for participating in this opening ceremony. So.
Good night.
Good night. Or good night. Good morning. I'm not really sure.
Is the Thai word non?
Yeah.
Go to sleep.
Non. Yes.
Non.
Yeah.
Yes, Thai non. Okay, I think without further ado, now we will start the first talk now. So our first topic today is how to survive a PhD program and thrive as a promising scholar by Professor Dr. Busaba Kanok Silapatham from Silpakorn University, Thailand. Let me give hers about her bio data just a little bit. She is currently an associate fellow in literatures and Western foreign languages, Buriram of Fine Art, the Royal Society of Thailand, and also are professors of English at the Faculties of Management Science, Silpakorn University. She received her PhD in Linguistic Concentration of Applied Linguistics from Georgetown University, Washington, D.C., USA. She has been actively engaged in academic activities, including research projects and articles, textbook, lectures and talk, and keynote speeches both nationally and internationally. Due to her distinguished contribution and dedication to the field, she received the awards of TRS Senior Research Scholar in English in 2015. And in 2020, she was awarded of Distinguished Researchers of Silpakorn University. Both of the awards were presented to her by Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn in 2016 and 2020 respectively. And before we meet her, any question if you have, just please leave in the message box or freely ask Professor at the end of her talk. And now I think, Professor, you're ready. So please welcome Professor Dr. Busaba Kanok Silapatham from Silpakorn University. เรียนเชิญค่ะอาจารย์ อาจารย์ค่ะอาจารย์เปิดไมค์ Turn on microphone please.
Me.
Okay.
I have to say again, good afternoon to the president, vice presidents, and also the deans, and also the PhD students, distinguished guests, and your honorable guests here. I will try to stay on time, so I'll finish my talk at 3:40 and not more than that then. So for the students, I would like you to take a look at the chat box. We might need to use the chat box function in order to interact with each other. Okay, in order for not to delay, I'm going to share the screen with you then. Okay. Do you see my screen yet? You see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Right. I'm going to just, based on the screens that I finished, not many hours ago. As I said, the topic is my talk is how to survive a PhD program and thrive as a promising scholar. And the reason I wanted to talk about this because I think, from my experience in America. And not only that, because when I was a student working on my PhD degree, I was not only a student, I was more than that. Actually, I was wearing 3 or 4 hats while I was working on my PhD. So I'm sure that my experience that I'm going to share with you today will be beneficial to all the students who came from all walks of life. You may have different backgrounds, but you know what? Eventually, we will all make it to our PhD degree. So first of all, in order to start interacting, I want you to use the chat box function. I don't want to see your faces. I want you to interact with me through the chat box function, right? Number 1, give me one word that comes to your mind when embarking upon your PhD journey. I know your journey will start soon, but what is one word that comes to your mind? I think the teachers will like to answer too, but I think the students should be prioritized here. What is the word that comes to your mind when you think about this, your PhD? Yes? Anyone? Any answer? I haven't seen any answer yet in chat box. Just type the word that you think that will come to your mind. Are you happy? Are you excited? Are you, wow, 3 words. Okay, confusing though, time consuming, excited. Okay, anything else? So this is good for BRU staff to know that this is what they felt on the very first day of their orientation. And I'm sure that they will change their mind after they are exposed to your program and they are after good care from BRU University. One of them say happy, interested, okay, excited. Well, thank you so much, passion. I really love this because I really want you all to be interactive so that I know what you feel. Challenging, challenge. Okay. Well, to be honest with you, your answers are those what I expected. So to be honest with you, you guys are being normal. You are okay. And you're ready to move on to your PhD program. Okay, very happy. Good. Well, now you can see that BRU should be happy now that your students are very, they are excited and they are happy to be in the program, eager, good, excited. Well, at the same time then, let me ask you, are you also worried, right? It reminds me of when I had to embark on my PhD student at Georgetown University. Well, honestly, you don't know what Georgetown University is one of the most prestigious universities in America because it's the first public university that offers in America. The long history makes us, that we cannot disappoint our university. And that's why when I started my degree program, a lot of expectations were made already before I joined them. I'm going to move on to the second question though. So, well, many students say the word challenge, and that's exactly what I said. Actually, a challenge is an understatement. I would say it's an extreme challenge, right? Why? Because according to the record around the world, PhD program has a very high attrition rate. Now, what does it mean high attrition rate? It means that the students enter the program, but they somehow didn't stay on until the end of the program. They quit. So that's something that people are freaking out because they say, oh, will I survive or not, right? So to be honest with you, then, according to the record, it says that 25% of drops out in arts and humanities after 3 years. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you, but I say this is the general trend of the world. Why? Because they prominently say, oh, I changed my mind. I don't want to be a teacher anymore. I don't want to teach English anymore. And then I have about other jobs that can offer me more money. So these are all sorts of reasons that people are trying to quit. However, my objective today is to convince you that once you decide to stay in PhD program, you will be okay. And you will graduate with your good physical and emotional health. Okay, now Lucy, I say the word health. Okay, so this is what I just share with you, and it's based on my personal experience in America and my exposure to many PhD programs in Thailand and also in the US. Right, so number 1, Ask yourself, are you organized? Do you plan? Do you prioritize your work? So you need to establish a routine. PhD life is not, it's exciting, but it's also a routine. So make sure that when you allocate your time to complete a project. Well, everyone said, oh, we do that all the time. But wait a minute, you cannot underestimate the time. Anything can happen. That's why there is a saying, say, expected the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, right? What happens? What are some examples? The car broke down. The computer didn't work. Your baby was sick. Your mom was sick. So these incidents can happen. And of course, when this happens, it destroys your work routine, right? Now, something I need to share with you is that don't try to compare your study with the others. When I was in America, I was there with my family, my 2 children. My husband as well is also studied for his PhD. You know what? One thing that we agree not to talk in the house, we don't talk about our PhDs in the house. Why? You know why? Because my husband studies microbiology and I study in linguistics. Why should we talk about something which is already frustrating? And we are so different in the fields. We shouldn't compare, oh, I finished my lab report. I finished my article, because there is nothing for us to compare. So don't compare that, oh, that person has made a lot of progress and I still not much then. Don't compare because everyone is different, right? Now, for the students, if you are still single and free, you are quite relieved because you don't have many obligations and you can control your life schedule. However, if you are married, are you? Maybe some of you are. You have parents to take care, maybe. And you have young children to take care, maybe. Like Ajahn Ek. Ajahn Ek, are you married? Yes, I'm sure. And he says two, you mean 2 wives or 2 children? See, like, so, and he has 2 children and he's still an administrator and he's still an academician. What does it mean then? It means that if you have sick parents to take care of them. Don't leave them behind. If you have children, nurture them. Why? Because the life, it comes as a package. You study because they are there. You have your children because you want to set the role model for them that, hey, look, dad could do it. You can do it too. You can show to your mom and dad that even mom and dad are old and frail. I can attend to my study and I can take care of you too. So you know what? Enjoy what you have. So what can you do with it in order to compromise that, Ajahn, I have to study too. Of course you have to study. Then maybe you can think about, smaller project, not too huge a project that you cannot even finish it, right? Maybe less contribution and less ambitious, and take one piece at a time. If you finish a dissertation, abstract, introduction, that's great enough. So you need to a little bit be modest, right? But one thing you need to know is you need to avoid procrastination. Procrastination is really dangerous. And once you are on this habit, it will stay with you forever until you graduate and until you work. And that's why many faculty members still struggling how to get academic promotion because they fall into the trap of procrastination. So that's why create a realistic goal, right? Don't think about something too big. Oh, I want to create a project that can beat the world. Don't even think about that. If you can graduate without getting insane, that's good enough. That's good enough, right? Now, again, if possible, have a backup plan. What does it mean by backup plan? Oh, you cannot do this study because it's too far away. Well, then you have to find something else. Of course, once you study PhD, you'll be very busy. But you know what? Busy people need to learn how to prioritize. And the statistics show that busy people are happier than those who find to fill the time. So that's what it says. So if you are busy, lucky you. You are so lucky to be busy. If you have nothing to do, you will be crazy, okay? Now, example then. I went to America as a PhD student with my 2 children One is 3 and one is 8. My husband is also a PhD student. So I told everybody that time I realized what does it mean to say that 4 hells broke loose. Okay. Now I live in Baltimore because my university is in Washington, D.C. I commuted about 2 hours each day. And my daughter got sick every time when we had finals. You know why? My daughter could sense that mom is under pressure. Dad is under pressure. Then what? My daughter added more pressure. Hey, let's get sick. So my daughter got sick every time. She threw up and she had high fever. So you know what? One of us had to stay with her, not to talk about the finals. It happens almost the first 2 years with that when we were doing coursework. So now you see what happened. I survived. Well, as I said, you cannot make the parents disappear. You cannot make your children disappear, but use their presence as a catalytic agent and stay organized. If you stay organized, whether they are sick or not, it wouldn't jeopardize your plan. I'm maybe a bit too serious about this, but this is happening to me when I was in the States with nobody to help me at all, just me and my husband. Now, number 2, distractions. This is for the 21st century PhD students. Well, you like social media? You love it. You cannot go to bed without checking your social media, right? You like to post? You like to comment? I think it's going to be bad for you. I consider these, distractions. Why? Because especially in the Thai context, many people try to flatter people on Facebook. Sorry to say, but I do mean it. One incident, that was a webinar. And my friend said, oh, I couldn't attend the webinar. But then on the Facebook, the speaker said, oh, today I gave a talk on this. And my friend said, oh, it's a good talk. Liar, he didn't even attend the talk. So this is the Thai society that people are flatter each other. So I think it's a waste of time. They like to brag. What kind of brag? Like this year, I published 4 research articles. It could be a glamour, but at the same time, it could be a sort of bullying. It's a bully. Why? Because you do this to intimidate people. And that's why for some students, you need to be careful. If you are disturbed by these distractions, it's time for you to cut down the time used on social media, because the time wasted and you cause you negative thinking. And you will try to compare. What can I do? Will I graduate? Will I be able to publish papers or not? As I said, you don't need to compare because everyone comes from different backgrounds and different settings and contexts, right? So you need to assign, maybe you can say, oh, I will check my social media 3 times a day after meal, maybe, so that you can have peaceful learning environment. It's not good at all. And you see how much time is wasted on that. Now, when I was studying for PhD, no social media like this. And that's why I could stay focused. And if you stay focused, then because you are too busy to be distracted. And if you are distracted, it means that you are not busy enough. So the BRU faculty members should give them more assignments to keep them focused, right? Okay. Next, create a positive environment. I'm sure BRU has a lot to offer here because I went there once or twice. And I think it's a great place to be in. Unfortunately, it's now COVID-19, but I'm sure you will love it there, right? Well, support teams, you can see that they have orientation for you. And they look at the way they do it, big scale and scope, because they really want to sincerely welcome you PhD students. So this is a good start. Now, I'm glad that after my talk and after many people's talks, there will be a session for you to mingle and get to know each other. I think this is a great opportunity that I didn't have when I went to my PhD studies at Georgetown University. I didn't say it's bad, but I wish I had this session so that I know my classmates before I started the class. And I know that, oh, she's the right person. I want to hang out with her. I want to talk more with her. So I hope you enjoy this session after the talks. Thank you, BRU, for having this for your students, right? You know what? You might not have many friends, but one true friend is a blessing. Someone you can count on, someone you can share. Because if you stay in your program feeling isolated, that's a disaster. Because isolation comes along with fear and despair. So don't stay to yourself. Share your feelings with your friends in the class or in your teachers, right? So avoid isolation. And if you think about your room right now, look around your room. Is your office a mess? If it's a mess, you need to clean up the clutter. No, the clutter is a source of stress. So you're trying to stay sane by cleaning the clutter. And I love doing this, honestly. Okay. Now, for example, while I was studying for my PhD, I have great classmates. One day, my professor at Georgetown said, because the next day we have to go present in Connecticut. And because Georgetown is, this is my profile, and the building behind is my Georgetown University. So you see how beautiful it is, over 200 years old. Right. So my professor called us and said, let's have a meeting at midnight before the conference day. We all went to that meeting, and she asked us to show her our presentation. And you know what? She screamed to the top of her voice, no, you cannot do that. Why? Because we say the results show that. And she said, come on, you are only PhD candidates. You got to say the results seem to suggest that. It's still ringing in my head how my professor screamed from the top of her lungs. You cannot say that. I said, why? You are only PhD candidates. You are not PhD holders yet. So be modest. Don't be so arrogant. That's a lot I learned from that night before I went on that trip. Okay. Next, build effective and networking. This is going to be something fun at the end. So join study groups, attend lectures and conferences and presentation. I'm sure this is a webinar term. So there are many webinars. So please attend. You know what? You might not get many from that, but at least these opportunities are very rewarding. You know what? When I was in PhD at Georgetown, I read many textbooks, and these are great authors. And then one day, I hope that I will meet these authors in person. Well, the case is not going to be that very possible in Thailand, but you know what happened? Right. Well, after the talk, you have the chance to meet these great scholars. You can get suggestions, and you can get, ideas, and then you can get connected with them. Now, look at my example then. At Georgetown, there is an annual called Georgetown Roundtable, which is a very good conference there. And as a student, I was a student helper. I was assigned to take care of the book corner. So where the corner, there are many books, by many professors there. And while I was looking at the book corner, one professor walked in, and he looked at the books, and the book was written by Stephen Krashen. Do you know Stephen Krashen? You know him? Stephen Krashen is a very promising scholar. He wrote many books, and he came up with a theory called input hypothesis. I hope you know what input hypothesis is. So I saw this guy visiting my corner, and he said, oh, you have my books here. So I said, are you Steve Krashen? And you know what he answered? He said, I don't know, but I'm wearing his underwear. I was shocked to hear the statement from Stephen Krashen. He said, I don't know whether I'm Stephen Krashen or not, but I am wearing his underwear. And you know what happened? We talked about input hypothesis, and he finally gave me a book. I said, this is the book for you. And he signed the autograph for me. And that's why I will never forget this scholar, Steve Krashen. And he still survived and giving talks around the world. Next, set quantitative goals, right? You need to say what you can accomplish and when do you plan to accomplish. I think you have to think about that now. Say, for example, after 2 years, I will finish all my coursework, and then the next 2 years, I'll finish my dissertation. You have to set goals, right? And then you manage your time effectively. Well, today I am a PhD, I am a professor. It doesn't come easily. I work hard, and that's why I use this philosophy. Start early of the day and finish late. I went to the office, maybe one of the first people who got there, and I am usually the last person to leave the office. I try to finish as much as I can in the office so that when I come home, I could enjoy the presence of my children, right? Now, what did I do then? During my PhD, my advisor got freaked out by me. He says, Bibi, I will see you every other week. It means that I will see him every 2 weeks. And you know what? When I graduated, he said to me, Bibi, you know what? You make me work hard to the bone. I said, why? Because every 2 weeks, you will send me like pages and 10 pages and 20 pages for me to read. I work so hard for you. So you know what? To tell BRU people, don't let your advisor push you. Don't let your advisor push you. You can make the advisor work for you. And you can take control of the progress made. So the ball is in your court. If you give a lot of homework to your professors have to work harder than you to give comments, and wonderful comments even. Okay. Next, automate wherever possible. PhD life means that you need to know many things that comes up. Technology advances, you cannot be lagging behind. You need to know digital calendar applications in Canva. Like the slides today, I use Canva because I don't have any assistance, so I have to do it myself. I think it's great for you to know all these ones, because one day when your assistant doesn't work or get sick, I can do it. I can do everything, right? So do it, right? Make the most of these advances, save your time, and it's error-free, right? Now, for your PhD life, you need to know these terms. You know EndNote? Do you know EndNote? If you don't, know it, right? You don't use thesaurus. If you don't, you better use it. Because once you start writing your dissertation, you will use the same word and the same word and say over and over and over, and that's why your professor get mad. So use thesaurus to impress your teachers. And you know what? Maybe your teachers have to look up at the word in the dictionary. So what the word is that he's using? It's a good way to do that. New smartphone. When I bought a new smartphone, people said, oh, Ajahn, it's like getting a new boyfriend. Oh, I love getting a new boyfriend. I really love getting a new boyfriend. Why? Because it's so exciting and, challenging whether I could get along with my new boyfriend or not. So don't freak out by technology, but embrace emerging technology. Next talk, take breaks. We are human beings and we need a break, right? Now, what does it mean by a break? When I was a student, I tried to study so hard. At one point in time, I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, and I tried to focus on my study until I called my sister in Thailand. And my sister in Thailand said, wait a minute, you are human beings, you have kids to take care. Kids have lives as well. So you cannot study 7 hours around the clock like you did in my bachelor's degree. And I think it's good because if you are too obsessed, you cannot think of anything. You got bogged down and you got mental block. So you need to refresh and refresh your mind and stay focused. How? For example, don't do academic work. Lunch nap is very interesting. Many doctors agree that lunch nap will give you benefits. I can't, unfortunately. But if you can, you are lucky. I can't because I never nap during the day at all. I watch Netflix series. Why? Like Virgin River, you guys watch it? I watched Virgin River in season 1, season 2, and season 3. I finished them all. I finished these movies. Why? Well, to take a break, but also in order to talk to my students that I don't stay in the ivory tower. I know what Love, Destiny, or Buppet Saniwa is like. I know what the series are, so I can communicate and connect with them. So this is very advantageous, right? Spend time with family and friends. Take a dance class, meditation class, do something fun like shopping. I do it all the time, just in order to take a break and get rid of my stress. So what do I do when I was in America, right? You know what? At Georgetown, every semester I have to finish 3 papers. No kidding. 3 papers each semester. Damn hard. But you know what? I can't complain because I chose to be at Georgetown. So the moment I submit my paper, bling, my paper went. I sat down and started looking for trips and making arrangements. That's why I went to Canada with my family. That's how I enjoy my break. Otherwise, I'll be crazy because I'm done. So that's why my husband got really mad. Once I finished my paper, I said, don't ask me anything. Tomorrow, get ready and stay behind the wheel. And I navigated him to Canada. So now he knows that once my semester is over, we'll be on the move. But everyone enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it too. I watch movies, but the best part I do is I clean my desk. When I finish my paper, submitted it, I clean my desk. So this is something that my office mates really got annoyed by me, that they are working and suddenly BB got up and BB cleaned up the desk, wipe out the desk and stacks folders and like that. It's the sense of accomplishment for me that I'm ready to move on to the new thing. And that's why I clean my desk in order to move on to the new desk. And that's why I said my brain needs a break as well. Okay, next, healthy and work-life balance, right? Now, this is the stat which is very scary. The grad students are 6 times more susceptible to anxiety and depression than the general public. If you are grad students, so you are going to be one of them for sure. If you have stress, it's normal. If you are depressed, it's normal. So congratulations, welcome to our world. PhD comes along with stress and depression. Now let's take a look at the second one. There are many categories of people: transgender, gender non-conforming, female, and male. I'm female, Ajahn Jenny, female, Ajahn Ek, male. And there are many people who are transgender. Answer my question then. Among these 4 groups, which one is the most vulnerable to stress? Or which one is the least vulnerable to stress? And the answer is Ajahn Ek. What do you think?
Male.
Exactly. So Ajahn Ek is really lucky. Male students so far have been found to be least vulnerable. Lucky you. But you know what? We don't care because we can manage our depression, right? Well, we have health crises like burnout and stress. So the word burnout will come to you again and again and again. And the word stress. If these words come to you, you are normal. I don't think anyone can finish their PhD without experiencing burnout and stress. When I was at Georgetown in the first semester, there was a Korean guy, young and handsome, and he is very smart in class. He answers any questions that professors ask. And you know what? After 1 semester, he's gone. And I said, what happened? He got burned out. It happens even to smart ones. So smartness doesn't have anything to do with burnout. So don't stay alone. Talk to the people. Okay. Now, the stress and burnout can be resulted from rush projects and missed deadlines. And even single and young graduates can experience that too. So you need to maintain the work and life balance. How? Brains work better in healthy bodies. I think this is English is very interesting. When they say the word health and the closer word is hell. Health and hell are not far from apart. Agree? If you are in good health, you are far from hell. And if you are in hell, it means your health is going downhill. And that's why you cannot graduate without good health, right? So eat good food, regular exercises, and enough sleep. And that's why our speaker Mike is now in bed. So that's a good move, right? So work-life balance, because it's supposed to improve memory and retention. Now, what do you do then? I am married, so I have to maintain my family and academic life. And now I'm a professor. I work less. No, I work even more, right? So when I was in America, my kids, 3 and 8 years old, were fighting all the time. And I begged them to stay quiet. The more I begged, the louder they got. So it means that they didn't listen to me. Why? Because at that age, they want to win the game, even among the siblings. So finally, I made a truce with them. I said, okay, let's make a deal. On weekdays, my talk. It's a mom term. Please stay quiet so that mom can concentrate. And then if it's on weekend, I will not study at all. The weekend is yours. I will drive you anywhere you like, to eat any junk food you like. This is the deal between me and my children, that weekdays is mine, weekend is yours. Otherwise, I couldn't concentrate, okay? Now, to be honest with you, even though you get your PhD, but your life falls apart, your family life falls apart, you cannot claim it a success. So you need to have both family and work together in order to claim that you are successful, right? So do your best personally and professionally. Don't leave anything back. Even though you get PhD, but your kids are crazy, your mom, dad pass away, you earn nothing else except sorrow and regret. Okay, celebrate your success. I might finish my talk so we can chat. Now, what does it mean by to celebrate your success? Okay, recognize your success and other people's success. If you finish your quiz and you got A+, celebrate. If your friends did a good job in her presentation, celebrate. I think a good example here is at University of Northern Arizona. Northern Arizona is a good place to be, you know, where the professors celebrate teeny tiny occasions with the students. They have the tea party on the student's birthday. I didn't mean you have to do it, but at least it means that the professors are very thoughtful and celebrate when the chance, whether it be big or small, okay? Now, it provides you a motivation to work hard and recharge your professional batteries. So if you do succeed something, let us know. Please share with us. I'm sure BRU is ready to celebrate, okay? Now, how I celebrate? I celebrated by cleaning my desk. I'm really honestly, I did that. I don't know, I must be some kind, you know, psychological thing to me that I clean up my desk whenever I finish something, big or small. But one thing I like to do is once I finish something, I would go and book the conference to present my papers. I really love traveling to present my papers. I never travel as a tourist. That's not a chance. I like to go and present papers and win the prizes. And that's why if I do present my paper, not as a keynote, I have to get the prize. And that's why the last one I got the prize from Indonesia as the best presenter award. I have to win. I'm a kind of that kind of mentality, which is tough, but I love it. Okay. Now, giving talks to academic presentations, don't avoid it. As a PhD student, go for it and do the talks. The more talks you do, the better you are. Really, believe me. You know what? And now, as a PhD student, this is what I want to share. As a professor, when I attend any conference, especially in Thailand, there are many sessions that I can attend. I walk into one room and the students say, oh, please, Ajahn, don't come here. I don't want to have you here. So they kick me out from one room. I went to another room. Oh, don't be here. My talk is not that substantial. Don't be here. I said, again? So, you know, finally, I got kicked out from every room. And I found myself in the lobby because all my students didn't want it to be there. Dear PhD students, don't do this to me. You know why? I'm going to attend your talk because I am interested in your talk. And I'm sure and I'm very confident that my comments will make your study better, not worse. I'm not there to kill anyone because you are not my level. I'm not there to kill. This is what I learned from my PhD. My supervisor, Dr. Swells, who is very famous, came to attend my talk when I was a PhD student. I was freaking out, but I didn't say that, get out of here. I didn't say that. I let him come and sit. And you know what? This is what I learned. If you are very smart and very successful like professors, you won't kill the students. You won't kill. What you can do is offer constructive comments that anybody else in the room cannot offer. So if you like good comments, good suggestions, have those professors in. They won't kill you because killing you is such a disgrace to themselves, honestly. So next time you will let me listen to your talk, right? You bet. Okay, Ajahn Ek said yes. Right. So how do I celebrate myself? I remember when I was a new teacher, a new faculty member, and one day I got promoted to be assistant professor. I walked into my office, into my desk, I found a little note say congratulations from my dean. I think that's really a nice touch. That only I was that young, 20 something, a young faculty member who got accomplished by being only assistant professor, but the dean recognized it. And she wrote a note with her handwriting saying that congratulations on your academic work. It means 1,000 words to me. It touched my heart. So do that to your students. I'm sure that students can feel it with their heart, right? Presentations abroad. Why? Because right now I have been to like 40 keynote speeches. So the chance to be an ordinary speaker is very slim. And if I have a chance, I will go and get the prize. That's my goal. If I represent it, I have to be the prize winner only and nothing else. And I did. This is the last one before the COVID-19 outbreak. So the lesson learned is that strive towards becoming a better of yourself each day. And then one day you will reach my point that become a professor and you don't have anything to do much in life, but looking at how my students grow and thrive like you guys. Next, 10, act professionally. What does it mean by act professionally? Okay. Do not indulge in bullying and gossiping. Well, I don't do this. Why? Because I don't have time. I'm very busy, but I don't announce my busy schedule. I'm very not active on Facebook, but I saw people behaviors on Facebook. I saw how one person can brag so much about teeny tiny accomplishment. I have seen everything. I can see how famous professors in America who would stay little in that corner and don't brag at all. And I belong to that corner. I don't brag. I do what I could do. So the bragging can have a negative impact on the students. For example, oh, today I won the award. It might hurt your students because they say, okay, I'm not that good, right? I present a paper, I finish a paper in Scopus for Taiwan. It might be good for someone, but for some students, it might consider bullying because the students will feel so discouraged that the classmates are already ahead of the game. So be careful. You don't mean to hurt them, but sometimes the hurt can be deeply cut and the wound can be very difficult to heal and then burn out and depressed and quit. So if you feel that way, don't indulge in social media because it wastes time and you become very vulnerable, right? Next. So customize them. This is the first step of your academic arena. So you try to understand what people do in academia. What do people do? Will we talk like people on the street? No, we don't talk like people on the street. We are crazy people. So we use a lot of technical jargons here. So you need to know that crazy people like me do what? We talk about H index. You know what H index is? If you don't know, you're in big trouble. Why? Because from now on, you need to know that, okay, you need to select the journal, and we call it the journal impact factor. This is one of the indicators how good the journal is. And you are reading the journals that don't have journal impact factors, it means that the journals might not be good enough. The H index, what does it mean, the H index? The H index, it means that that particular scholar is recognized internationally or not. And you will see that the people who brag a lot on Facebook, they don't have high index, unfortunately. You know what Scopus? If you don't know, you need to know now. You know how to cite? Citations, you need to know now. You know the phrase ABD? Well, this is scary. Anyone knows what ABD stands for? It's very popular in America. Do you know what ABD stands for? You don't know, you missed a lot. This is what the first phrase we learned in America on one of the very first orientation session. In America, we have the phrase called ABD, means what? Anything but dissertation. You will realize that there are many people who go to, to pursue their dreams as a PhD students, and they don't come back. They come back, but not without a PhD title. I didn't say they are bad. I didn't say they are not capable, but they are called, labeled as ABD, anything but dissertation. They completed the coursework, but they finally couldn't finish their dissertation. I don't want that to happen, and I'm sure you can do better than that, right? So you need to know that PhD life is a lot of stress. You need to know what has been done before you, so previous literature has to be respected, highly respected. Okay, so that means I want to introduce to you the 3 R's today. 1, when we talk about the literature, it has to be recent. You need to follow the field if you're interested. You know what's going on in your field in the recent years. Is it relevant to your studies? Is that study reliable? Right? So you need to know how to do this is the crucial part, because Thai students are very incapable of doing the lit review. Because Thai students is a matter of cut and paste, unfortunately. If you want to do the lit review in America, we are required to spend 16 weeks on this, doing the lit review, before you emerge or you start your PhD program in the lit review section. This is something missing in the Thai curriculum. And that's why Thai students are not trained to be critical thinkers, unfortunately. Okay. Now, so what is this lesson learned here? It's very pathetic to blow your horn. You don't have to announce your achievement. Your achievement should be known among your group and celebrated among your friends, right? Because is it possible to succeed all time? Of course, hell no, it's impossible for everyone to succeed. But you know what? The people who post on Facebook, they post only good stuff. They don't post, how bad they feel, how suffer they feel. They don't post bad stuff. And that's why it gives you misleading information. They have lies, aversion, and bullying. And that's why don't compare, because every individual is different and cannot be judged by a single yardstick. Okay. Next one, read and write. PhD students in our field, you need to read and write a lot, especially in academic activities, right? It's indispensable because you need to read every day, and maybe you have to write to keep yourself updated with the trends of research there, right? So not only that, then it will open you to new ways. For example, when you say, oh, why Thai people say tradition, whereas American would say tradition, whereas people would say Facebook, where Americans would say Facebook. And many scholars say, oh, because it's L1, it's the influence of native language. Come on, you are from the Stone Age, right? It's not that only. It's not the L1 that triggers the mistakes. It's something else. Because many students in other countries make the same mistakes. So you cannot say that L1 is the victim of this. And that's why if you read a lot, you will find that maybe L1 is not the culprit at all, as people claim, right? Next, read and write regularly. This is easily said than done. You need to know how to paraphrase, how to find sources, and how to consolidate sources so that you can write a good lit review. And the last one, I really hope that BRU can do this. Please train your students to sharpen their critical thinking skills. So the lit review should talk about the past studies, but it should be ending by a critical statement. For example, after you read this study has some drawbacks or not, and the drawbacks are what, and how you can improve these drawbacks. Of course, bravo, then you find the research gap. And if you could find the research gap, that would be the starting point of your dissertation topic. So dissertation topics couldn't be found on the street, but it could be found from analytical thinking and critical thinking of previous studies only. Okay. The next, right. During the COVID-19 webinars, there are many webinars and I attend on. I'm a good learner. So whenever, if I attend the webinar, I will take notes. And one day, this is a conference, a webinar held by the Middle East country. And they said, if you want to get the certificate, you have to take the post test after the webinar. You know what? I didn't want to get the certificate, but to me, taking a test is very challenging. And the webinar I attended was given by Steve Krashen, the one I talked about. I like him a lot because he said, I don't know him, but I'm wearing his underwear. And that's why I said, I need to listen to Stephen Krashen talk. I listened to the talk and I took lectures. And you know what? There are 5 questions after that in order to claim your certificate. You have to answer all the questions correctly in order to get certificate. And one of the questions, which is not academic itself, that when Steve Krashen was on the plane, what happened to him? I said, what? That's not academic at all. Because Steve Krashen was talking about, that when he was on the plane, on the way to present a paper as a keynote speaker, but on the plane, he was working on his speech and he decided to change his topic. That happens on the plane. And I could get the answers right. Why? Because I was very attentive to his talk. So I was really, proud of myself that when I learned it. And I learned it every single word. Therefore, the lesson should be, you always learn something new. If you have been in a bad webinar, at least you learn not to be a bad presenter. Agree? Right? Oh, I don't like his talk. The way he talks is lousy. There is no information. Of course, you learn not to repeat what he did. So you learn not to be a bad presenter. Right. Next. Number 12, nurture qualities to be a good scholar, right? It's a research scholar being a groom. Were you born to be a scholar? Was I born to be a professor? I was a local girl. I was a country girl. I never dreamed to have this day that I am a professor, right? No. Researcher was not born. Researcher was groomed. And groomed by whom? By BRU. So you will be groomed by BRU faculty members to be a scholar, right? Now, scholars should have these characteristics. 1, curious. Curious what? Curious to find answers. Why do we have COVID? Why Thai people are not good at English? If you are curious, do it. Do research, right? Now, we should have enough, we should have the word courage. What does it mean, courage then? Courage to do something different from the others, not just follow the crowd. Otherwise, your study will be just only one of them, nothing substantial then. You need to be determined, persistent, resilient, and self in order to complete your PhD. But, okay, next, you will need to be willing to learn. You know what? After all these years, you might be discouraged. You can talk to your faculty, talk to your advisors. You can be discouraged because we are human beings. I was discouraged too, but don't quit because you are setting the role model for your children to remember and forever. Okay. Now, you need to learn, this is very important. It's not easy for us to learn to accept rejection or adversity. Agree? Rejection is always painful. Adversity is always painful. But PhD is full of rejections and adversity. When you submit your work and your professor mark red circles all over the page, red here, red there, red there, you cry. Go ahead, go and cry hard so that your neighbors could hear you. Go and cry, right? But you know what? After you cry, take a look, right? Nothing personal there. The professors don't mean to hurt you. The teachers don't mean to hurt you, but we want to put you on the right track. So take a look at the comments, right? And take it, say, is that true that your study is not good enough? Is that true that your English is not good enough? Is that true that your research is not well designed? Right. You know what? Think about this, that in a competition, you are not always the first one to enter the line. You are not always the first one. If you are the first one all the time, then you are not human beings, right? There is always somebody else who is better than you. Therefore, you're doing your best, and that's good enough, right? Einstein, Steve Jobs, what do these two have in common? Don't tell me they are old. That would be offensive. What do they have in common, Einstein and Steve Jobs? Once in their life, they were rejected. Einstein, people think he's crazy, he's retarded, he's autistic. Steve Jobs, he got kicked out of his own company. He couldn't finish his degree. So these two people suffer from rejection, but he didn't take it personally, right? He learned from it and then he moved on. But you know what? This is something for you to remember. Everything has a piece of luck in it. You know the word luck, right? Some teachers submit the same work to be promoted to be assistant professor. Some got it, others didn't get it. Why? Even the quality is the same. It's a matter of luck and destiny, and you cannot control that. So believe me that there is luck in everything, and you cannot control it. Okay. Now what happens if you are reading paper? If you submit a paper, and if your paper is rejected, what do? You cry. Go ahead, cry first. You cry. But then don't write a letter to the editor. Say, hey, listen, my study is great. You cannot reject. Don't even write a letter. It's a waste of time. If you get rejected, move to another journal. Move on. Don't get stuck because the editor wouldn't be able to wipe out their old decision and say, okay, I can reject it. I can accept it now. No, they wouldn't do that. So, right. If it's too big, then make your expectation sizable. I have to be faster now. Okay. Then, right. So, of course, you have frustration, you have loneliness, you have fear. If you experience this, it's normal. It's normal because PhD is a long project. You are supposed to be before. It's normal, but talk it out and then get over it, right? So I'm moving faster now. If you have anything negative in life, use that as an energy to drive you forward. You know what? In my dissertation, I changed my topic. I invested a lot of 2 semesters on my previous topic, and I changed for some reasons. And thank God, I'm so glad that I changed. Without the change of my topic many years ago, I wouldn't have my professorship in hand today. So if you have to change because it's not really your piece of cake. It's not your cup of tea. Change. Okay. Next, the last one, your mentor. You have to choose the right mentor. I don't know when you have the freedom to choose or not. Well, because the mentor is very important. You don't have to give him gifts. You don't have to say hello every day. You have to say good morning every day. No, don't do that. You're just annoying them. What you're supposed to do, you know what? How to find the right mentor? Look at their profile. Are they working the same? Are they sharing the same interests? Are they doing what you are doing? If they say, oh, that's the one. Do they have enough publications? It means they have enough experience to share with you. Yes, he's the one, right? So before you jump into one person, you have to do research on that profile. Go and take a look at their profile and check with, how active he is or she is. So if you are so active, you want to go for the active person as well, right? I have to finish now. Well, when I was with my professor was a little bit, like he was very tired with me because I beat him to death, really. I submit my work very often and he was, oh, Bibi, I was so tired reading your work, but that's how I get it done anyhow. Okay. So, you know what, in order to see whether you have the right person, you should leave the advising sessions. After you leave the door, you feel focused and energetic. If you feel that way, he's the one. He's the one. If you leave the office crying and don't where to turn, then he is not the right person. And I'm sure that BRU will take good care of you. Okay. Now, my life, I have Swells who is my advisor, and he's just a godsend. Swells unwavering support. Dr. Biber, he's a corpus guy, and he introduced me. He said, "Bibi, write the book chapters with me." Without his invitation, I wouldn't have the book chapter of my life at all, really. So these are great advisors who gave me, you know what, every cloud has a silver lining. And finally, I see the light at the end of my tunnel. Now, spend a lot of time on your dissertation. If your dissertation is great, it will stand the test of time. Believe me. And we write only one dissertation, only once in your life. I don't want to write a second dissertation. You write only once. So make sure that it stands the test of time. Well, finally, the conclusion. Think, dream, believe you can do it, and dare to do it. I like this poem a lot. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers, or you can fill the last one for me. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seed. You can grow flowers, or you can grow, come on, Ajahn Ek, huh? Ajahn Ek says the answer is weeds. What to do?
I don't think so.
You can grow flowers like this, or you can grow weeds. Personally, I hope you guys enjoy your dissertation program. Stay well, healthy, mentally and physically. And I hope to see you in person sometime, someday. Good luck and all the best to BRU program. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions? I don't think I have time to questions, but contact me if you like. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Krashen. Thank you. Please, any question? We can have like 1 or 2 questions, please. Because I see from the chat book, don't have the question, but please, you can just turn on your microphone and ask our professor directly. Now, 1, 2, 3.
I think they are overwhelmed.
And thank you so much. It's very, very useful. Even though I am not a PhD student now, but it's given me a lot of how to say guidelines of how to manage my life. And I believe that all the PhD today like get a lot of useful things to manage themselves. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, okay, thank you. And then good luck and goodbye to all of you. Hope you finish your PhD soon.
Before you leave, Dr. Ek, just really want to say thank you to you, Dr. Ek,
okay.
please.
So can I call you Professor Bibi?
Oh, that's what my name is.
Okay, so Bibi stands for Busaba, right? Professor Busaba. I met her, I think, for the first time in Cambodia last 6 years, I guess. At a time in Phnom Penh, I didn't know who she is. I didn't know, but at the time, I think I took part in her session. I just wondered that why this small woman very energetically presented a paper. So I have no doubt that why she always get the winners award, just like that. So I met her. That's the first time, and her performance still in my mind. So I don't know exactly who she's at the time. I think she's from Vietnam or somewhere, so China, somewhere at the time. So we are really lucky to have her with us today. And she said that she attended some session and she was kicked out. Maybe some presenters afraid that she's going to ask a very hard question. But I'm very certain that our students from BRU very pleased to welcome her to sit in and give very useful comments. We are very pleased to bring her useful advice into practice. So on behalf of Humanities and Social Science faculty at Buriram Rajabhat University, my president just sent me a message. Please send her a thankful message to Professor Busaba. I would like to thank you very so much for your insightful and informative talk today. And we highly hope to have you again in the near future at a different occasion, like a workshop, conference, or maybe thesis defense session. So,
are you sure? Because
yes.
I will count in. I look forward to the opportunity to share the dissertation defense.
Yes.
I want to meet your students in person. I don't have the chance. So,
yes. So after COVID-19 pandemic, yes, very certainly we will we'll be inviting you to visit Buriram Rajabhat University, and also after this situation, our students from Myanmar, they will come and take a course, take course at BRU. So at the time, for sure, you will be officially invited by us to visit Buriram Rajabhat University. Thank you very so much once again. So I would like to invite all of us, please give applause of big hands to our keynote speaker today. Thank you very so much. Thank you
for all the notes in the chat box. I'm reading them. Thank you. And I'm going to leave you guys so that Mike can get up and do the talk. Okay, bye. Take care. Love you. Bye.
Thank you very so much. Take care. Take care. Yes. Be safe from COVID-19.
Thank you so much. Wow, it's such a very like open my resource, like how to manage my time and everything. And I believe you or the master degree and also the PhD will get a lot of like everything like push into your mind, how to study, how to survive in your PhD journey. Okay, I think now Dr. Ek, Dr. Mike, wake up now.
I'm really not sure, but anyway, I just try to call him during waiting for Dr. Mike.
Okay.
I would like Dr. Ginny, the would be Dr. Ginny, because this is the best way to force you to study PhD with us next batch. All right. So now we are lucky to have the Dean of Graduate School, Dr. Naramon Songpuna. I would like now Ginny, please invite Dr. Naramon, the Dean of Graduate School, because all the students also working under this school. Please invite her to give a talk for a few minutes, please.
Dr. Naramon, Dr. Ek, I invite already. So please say something.
Yes, I sent a message to her already to inform her. Please, the Dean of Graduate School, I would like you to greet our students, PhD student, and say something to welcome all participants. Oh, ขอบคุณครับ สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Okay, very good afternoon, everyone.
1 hour.
1 hour. So he gave me about only 1 minute. All right.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Glad to see you all. And on behalf of Graduate School Buriram Rajabhat University, we welcome with a great pleasure new graduate student of ELT program to our BRU. And I would like to inform you that this academic year, BRU here we have about 170 students, graduate students, and one country from China, and you from Myanmar. Very glad to see you all. And it's quite a big batch from Myanmar to about 12 person. I'm very excited to see you here. And I think I do hope that you all will have a perspective about learning here, especially in PhD. It's quite difficult, I think, but I believe in our handsome Dean, Dr. Ek, will help, and his strong team will help you all to success in your study. And I hope that after COVID-19 pandemic, we will see you again here in BRU. Okay, good luck and enjoy your study. Okay,
thank you very so much for your very nice talk. Okay, delivered to not just only me as a handsome Dean. Thank you very so much for a sweet word and also the kind message to all participants here. So I tried to call Professor Mike. I think he's to be in the bed. So, because now in America it's about 4 a.m. early morning. So I think
maybe we can move to Professor Nini.
Sure, Jenny, not just only the students and the scholars from India and Myanmar. We also have do you remember Dr. Sarom, who got PhD from our BRU and also from Brunei? So he is in with us now. Dr. Sarom, he is a big man in Cambodia. Now he is holding the big position at the Ministry of Education. All right.
Wow.
His present position is Deputy Director General of Education Ministry. Dr. Kampi just sent me a message. I think this is good time for us to meet a big man from Cambodia, Dr. Sarom. Okay, Dr. Sarom is here. Would you like,
Dr.
please,
Sarom.
you like, yeah, Sarom, you would like to invite you to give a talk to greet us for a few minutes.
Dr. Sarom, I see his name, but
Salom, yeah, Salom is here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah, I see his name on the screen, but he still turned off the camera.
Okay.
Dr. Sarom.
Dr. Sarom, are you here with us? Okay, maybe by the end of our session. So maybe we can move on to the next session then.
Yes,
please. Maybe Professor Nini, I guess.
Yes. So our next speakers. So Professor Nini Lai will give us a special talks on the research communities and supervisory support leading to practical research. And Professor Nini Lai from Mandalay University's of Distant Education, Myanmar. And currently, Professor Nini is a professor emeritus of English Department at Mandalay University of Distant Education, Myanmar. She has got a bachelor's degree from Yangon Institute of Education, specializing in teachings of English, and she's completed her Master of Art in English from University of Yangon. After that, after her bachelor's at Yangon Institute of Education, she joined Yangon University of Economics as a tutor in 1981. She taught English course in different higher education institutions for over 38 years. In 2000, she was promoted as an associate professor, and in 2001 as a professor. She has nearly 40 years of teaching and administrative experience in prestigious institutions, as well as provide leadership in learning and teaching. So now, Professor Nini, please give us a lecture, please. Thank you so much. Please welcome Professor Nini.
Wow, she's ready for this. Good, very professional.
So good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Mingalaba, very clearly.
Yes.
Mingalaba.
Mingalaba. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So firstly, I'd like to say thank you once on behalf of Myanmar students and on my own country. So thank you for having a chance to give a special talk on researcher community and supervisory support leading to practical research for new PhD student orientation of PhD and ELT program, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Buriram Rajabhat University, Thailand. So, firstly, let me introduce a little bit of doctoral education, knowledge on doctoral education. In most of the countries, doctoral education is usually less taught course and is more research-oriented model. So applications to enter doctoral studies are assessed by the university. So the supervisor team consists of minimum of 2 supervisors, a main supervisor and 1 or 2 co-supervisors. So the doctoral student completes preliminary coursework for 1 year and another years of thesis writing with seminars and conferences depending on the discipline and university. So students usually attend regular and credit seminars every academic year throughout the doctoral process. The research seminars offer opportunities for doctoral students to present their research. The students receive and give feedback with peers. So thus, the emphasis is in a doctoral program is on conducting doctoral research that is designed to support the PhD program. So the preliminary coursework in doctoral study is usually constructed based on study modules that typically include regular seminars and credit seminars. The student has at least one main supervisor, a professor in the field in which the thesis is being completed, and one co-supervisor. So doctoral education has identified several factors that contribute to the doctoral experience. For instance, the supervisory relationship, the scholarly community, and doctoral students and supervisors' personal belief about the research. Supervision contributes to the overall doctoral experience. Professors are experts in their respective fields or scholarly communities who are helping students gain access to and membership in these same communities. So in a scholarly community, the expectation is that students will be active learners and that they will search for clarification using all available resources. Accordingly, there is a need to obtain a deeper understanding of the nature of the PhD process and the problems students face during the PhD process. Now, let me explain a little bit of scholarly community. So some scholars have suggested that scholarly community plays an important role in how students experience their doctoral journey. So according to Ph.D. et al. 2009, the quality of PhD training can be considered as being dependent on the learning environment provided by the scholarly community. So according to them, PhD students' experiences in this community varied considerably. So some of the PhD students felt isolated from their academic community or found the relationship between themselves and the community somewhat problematic. So this suggests that one can consider and experience even the same scholarly community in a variety of ways. So according to Ph.D. et al. 2017, so distinction between the complementary elements of the support can be made. So they are support source and support fit. So each of the elements consists of several dimensions. So under the title of scholarly community, firstly, I'd like to discuss regarding to become part of a scholarly community. A lot has been going on at university before your arrival on campus. For example, students have been working on their studies, residence hall directors and student affairs personnel have developed a growing understanding of the needs of students, and food services management has worked on providing a diverse and healthy menu for students. And the librarians may have been continually updating the library's print and online offerings, and the information technology department has worked to ensure that classrooms are equipped with the latest technology. Students from the local and all over the globe have traveled the same sidewalks and traversed the same corridors you now do. So indeed, experts will encourage you to get involved with community. So as a PhD student, then you have the opportunity to join a scholarly community, a group of people working towards intellectual pursuits. And you may be asking yourself, besides fellow classmates, who are my peers in this environment? So the answer may surprise you. Professors are experts in their respective fields, or scholarly communities who are helping students gain access to and membership in these same communities. So in the context of the classroom, students are expected to engage in scholarly discussions with their professors, raise questions, and at times even challenge them. So as an adult, in control of your own destiny, you have chosen to enter into a scholarly community and work toward any membership. This process is very different from attending a high school, which is a compulsory endeavor. And the second topic I'd like to discuss a little bit is the professor and the student contract. So teaching and learning are enhanced when teachers and learners have shared expectations regarding course outcomes. For this reason, professors construct a syllabus, a document consulting the desired course outcomes and other relevant information for each course they teach. So each syllabus you are given will help you understand important information about the course. So keep your syllabi handy throughout the semester. And this information can be quite useful when you are planning your schedule in an attempt to manage your time effectively and efficiently. So look at your syllabi carefully. So you may have exams, quizzes, and group projects in your classes. The point is to analyze your syllabus carefully. The key is to remember that the syllabus is an essential component of being a responsible member of a scholarly community. And then, thirdly, I'd like to say a little bit of intellectual curiosity. So you may need to reflect on previous experiences to determine if you possess intellectual curiosity. So Becky Marty 2002, an expert in higher education assessment, defines intellectual curiosity as the characteristic ability to question, to challenge, to look at an issue from multiple perspectives and seek more information before rushing to judgments, and to raise questions, deliberate, and craft well-reasoned arguments. So you may start out by asking yourself, if I come across something I don't know or something I don't understand, what do I normally do? So do I skip the concept and hope the professor will deliver the answer in the next class? Indeed, the intellectually curious individual collects and processes information in an elaborate and sophisticated manner. So this manner of thinking is a habit, a disposition. The intellectually curious individual is in a routine of thinking deeply. So you may be feeling anxious that you do not possess a disposition toward intellectual curiosity, and without this cannot earn membership into a scholarly community. So fortunately, like training your body to run marathon, you can train your mind toward the disposition of a intellectual curiosity. So to do so requires a particular mindset. It requires you to be active. So you need to begin by analyzing ways in which you learn and start thinking about how you are going to approach the endeavor of joining a scholarly community. So the next point we shall discuss is active versus passive learning. So that the distinction that will be made here between actively and passively done does not have to do with physical behaviors, but with psychological mindset. So active learning involves doing many of the activities suggested in the textbook. In this manner, questions can be asked, questions to which the student sincerely seeks answers. So the active learner's intellectual curiosity would encourage her to search for an answer to the given question. The goal of an active learner is to come to a better understanding, the sequence of which is asking more questions and searching for more answers. One of the major changes you will confront as a first-year PhD student is uncertainty in approaching studying for your PhD course. So you will likely find out that the study skills you utilized in master's level will not produce the same results when you apply them to PhD level courses. So changing from automatic thinking to active thinking is not easy. So it requires students to take full responsibility for their own learning. That is, not to say a student will have to attempt to switch cognitive gears or go from one mode of thought to another alone. So the prevailing thought on a university campus is that learning occurs both inside and outside the classroom. So you may be required to utilize or to familiarize yourself with some of these automatic programs and services. So although the choice is up to you, it is strongly suggested that you consciously consider the ways you plan on using each service. In other words, to take responsibility or to be an active learner and to claim these services as part of your education, and that you realize that the way you use a resource will affect what you get out of the experience. So in a scholarly community, the expectation is that you will be an active learner and that you will search for clarification using all available resources. And if you use the study techniques suggested and taught with your professor during office hours, you are doing some of the right things. So the next point we should think of is collaboration. So what type of collaborative activities might you participate in? So this might involve in-class group work, study groups, group presentations, debates and group papers or group projects, to name a few of more common activities. So these situations are unique in their own way. Just think about how long you have to get the good dynamic sorted out for in-class group work as opposed to a semester-long group project. So although many students dread collaboration, what they tend to call group work, you will likely learn much about yourself and others from these experiences. So through collaboration, so you will learn when and how to make concessions to arrive at the final product that is truly the work of an entire group. So Eugene Rajabhat, 1984, neatly sums up the benefits of collaboration. So effective teamwork encourages each member to contribute his knowledge to the overall effort. This contribution of experience and trading of ideas enables them to learn from each other. So cooperative action by each of them contributes to a total effect that is greater than the sum of their independent contribution. Now, let me move to my second part, that is supervision practice. Doctoral students and supervisors' individual preferences, previous learning experiences, knowledge, skills, and resources also contribute to the supervisory relationship and thus to the doctoral experience. PhD supervision includes tacit knowledge that is difficult to explain and to formulate as formal curricula. So goals and practices may remain tacit as well, and thus making identifying the means to promote the goals difficult. So if not explicitly guided, doubtful students may face some problems in understanding the threshold concept of their domain, so which are key to the developing interdisciplinary expertise. So when faced with such practice, doubtful students can assume a variety of strategies to meet new situations. So they can adapt, they can ignore, or they can adopt the practices. Ideally, supervisors and senior members will intentionally facilitate and promote learning through active and student-centered approaches that would help PhD students to develop their research skills. So discussion about scholarly communities would not be complete without mentioning doing research. Scholars use libraries and the internet to perform some of the investigations. They also use the references in the works they find to lead to other useful sources. So in addition to these solitary activities, scholars also talk to peers, other scholars in their field at meetings, conferences, on the phone, and in person. So in these ways, scholars stay up to date regarding their particular interests. So the research that is accessed has to first be conducted. So second part, under the section of doing research, so I'd like to discuss a little bit of support forms. The key experiences proposed by Brickman and Cable 2014 required 3 complementary phases. So the experiences were coded into 3 general support categories based on the forms of support described in the episode. The first one is emotional support that entails descriptions of encouragement, trust, showing interest, and a sense of belonging. And the second one is informational support. So that includes informative advice, expertise, guidance, feedback related to research work and thesis contents, etc. And the last one is instrumental support. So that comprises support in time allocation, so providing materials, data, equipment, funding, networks, collaborators, and courses, etc. Furthermore, all the experiences were coded into 2 exclusive categories based on the support fit described: match support that includes descriptions of satisfactory support, and the next one is mismatched support, entails descriptions of provided unsatisfactory support. So the last point I should explain is about support fit. So the fit between support needed and provided plays a central role in the doubtful experience. So the provided support should promote the ability to cope with particular problems. So which means that for the provided support being effective, it should also match. So match support is typically characterized by the doubtful student satisfaction with the support and in line with the student's needs, such as receiving encouragement when feeling anxiety about doubtful studies. So the next one is mismatched support. In turn, is often characterized by dissatisfaction or the lack of needed support, such as the supervisory style of the supporter. Yes. So in conclusion, my advice for new PhD students at the beginning of a long journey is twofold. The first one is adjust your mindset. And The second one is adjust your strategies. Good luck and thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ka. Thank you so much, Professor Nini, live from Mandalay University of Distance Education, Myanmar. And we will have the question at the end of the section of talking, because right now we have the limited time. So I think Dr. Mai is with us now. Good morning. Good morning.
Good evening in Thailand. Good morning in America, I guess.
Yes. Dr. Mai, you ready for your talk in the next section? Please turn on your microphone.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, very clear.
Okay.
Oh, you just woke up, sir, I guess?
I set my alarm. I didn't hear it go off. Yeah, I woke up.
I understood.
I heard all of Dr. Nini's talk. That was very good.
Okay.
Okay. You can have a little more race.
Yeah. It's your turn now, sir.
Okay.
So is the topic of Dr. Mai today is about top tips and techniques of how to successfully combine work and a PhD. So Dr. R. Michael Smith is an associate professor in early childhood and childhood education in the College of Education at Niagara University. For the last 18 years, he has taught undergraduate and graduate courses in multicultural education, foundation of education, motivation and classroom management, research and statistics, and special needs. Dr. Smith also supervised student teachers in elementary and secondary classroom in Canada and the US. And Dr. Smith's undergraduate degree is in sociology and business from Brook University in Canada. He has 2 master's degree of education from Niagara University and a PhD in social foundation and multiculturalism from University of Buffalo. He also enrolled in MBA too and completing a master in TESOL at Niagara University this year. So please welcome Dr. Mais. Dr. Mais, welcome.
Thank you, Jenny. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Today, my topic is how to successfully combine work with a PhD program. Can you hear me okay? Everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, very clearly,
okay.
Sir. Please go ahead.
Good. First, I will begin by stating that yes, it is possible to successfully complete a PhD program while working. And I speak from experience, as I have completed 3 master's degrees while working full-time, and I also completed my PhD while working 3 jobs between 1995 and 2001. My presentation this afternoon is divided into 6 parts. Part 1 will be an overview of my 7-year PhD experience while working full-time. Many top US universities, such as the University of Buffalo, which I attended, have a 7-year maximum for completion that includes a completed master's, an additional 36 to 45 credit hours of coursework, a final 6-week comprehensive exam, a dissertation proposal defense, 2 seminars of full-time coursework, continuous enrollment in the program, and a final written dissertation and defense. I believe that the BRU program will be between 3 and 5 years. In the United States, at many of the major institutions, you have a maximum of 7 years. If you don't finish in 7 years, you're known as PhD ABA, which means, or ABD, which means all but dissertation. So it's of the essence to finish it within that 7-year period. Some people have had extensions, but not very often does that apply. Part 2 of my discussion will be about the IRB process. As most, if not all, respected international journals and conferences in North America require written IRB approval for any research paper or presentation submission before it will be reviewed for acceptance. And IRB approval is also a requirement for all PhD dissertations in Canada and the US. Part 3 will highlight the APA 7th edition of formatting and referencing sources for your actual dissertation. It also lists minor changes in grammar rules and sentence structure. Part 4 will list my top tips for navigating the PhD process while working full or part-time and dealing with life in general. Part 5 will discuss some of the trials and tribulations faced by non-native English speakers while communicating with their students, with their student colleagues, advisors, and university administrators. Part 6 will explain my plan for assisting non-native English speakers in an English-speaking PhD program, especially in BRU. Briefly stated, my program is a mentor program assignment that I initiated my PhD students at Niagara University in January of 2021 to assist the PhD students attending BRU. I will also recruit some of my students from the upcoming January 2022 semester to serve as mentors for any BRU students in need. In summary, I have allotted approximately 25 minutes for the above conversation and will conduct a question and answer session for the remaining 15 minutes to address audience questions and concerns. Part 1, overview of my 7-year PhD experience while working. In 1992,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but someone asking that, do you have screen sharing? Do you have a PPT, PowerPoint? Because
no, I don't. No.
See. Oh, okay, okay. No. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. In 1992, after a successful 20-year career as an account executive for Molson Breweries, I opted for a voluntary buyout retirement package. Before starting with Molson, a long-term goal of mine was to complete a master's degree in education, and the buyout package provided me with the financial stability to do so. 1 month before my official retirement, I applied and was accepted into Niagara University's Master of Education program for the fall semester. I started in the fall of '92 and completed my master's degree 2 years later. It was a wonderful experience because I had the time and financial wherewithal, because my tuition was paid by Molson, to immerse myself in my studies, and I even worked part-time in a sales position. The program was very student-centered, which suited my personality and learning style, and I decided after my first year that I wanted a career as a university professor. I was fortunate to have wonderful, supportive professors who encouraged me to enroll in a PhD program and recommended that I attend the University of Buffalo. After my application was accepted by UB, Niagara University then hired me as an adjunct professor to teach part-time. Unfortunately, UB was a large state university, and as such, the tuition for non-residents such as myself was almost 4 times the regular tuition rate for those who lived in the state. I had enough savings to pay all my expenses for the first year, but I needed to find another source of income or apply for a tuition grant to be able to continue the program after my first year. I applied for a position as a graduate assistant, but there were no positions available. So I picked up a part-time sales job to get me through my second year. Then good fortune struck. No, I didn't win the lottery, but I was granted a tuition scholarship to pay for my full-time year 3 semesters. For years 4, 5, 6, and 7, my coursework was completed, but I was required to enroll and pay for at least one dissertation course for each fall and winter semester. With a wife and 2 children to support, I needed to find a full-time job if I wanted to continue my schooling. So I applied and was hired to work in sales in Toronto, approximately 100 miles from Buffalo. I also taught a course one evening a week at Niagara University, as well as a course at Duville College in Buffalo. There were definitely times when I wanted to quit. The money was tight. I had to change my dissertation topic after 2 years of research because someone else had finished his dissertation on the same topic. Another problem, one of my advisors had a disagreement with his fellow primary supervisor, and he resigned from my committee. So I had to find a new advisor. And in my 7th and final year, my supervisor went on sabbatical to Europe and was incommunicado, unable for me to contact and very difficult for me to get any feedback from her. Nevertheless, I persevered and successfully defended my dissertation 1 week before the end of my 7th year. If I hadn't finished then, I would have exceeded the time limit and risked not being allowed to complete the program. At this time, I should also tell you that it took me 18 years to complete my undergraduate degree, and I completed the last 3.5 years of my BA attending part-time when I worked full-time for Molson Brewers. I was very appreciative of Molson because they reimbursed me for all of my course tuition and cost of my textbooks for my BA. So I was very fortunate that I was able to work to pay for my education. And also I had a company who valued education, and they also paid for all my expenses and my tuition when I did my undergrad. Part 2, I want to talk about the IRB process. In Asia and Southeast Asia, there's not much of an IRB process. However, in America, it's a basic requirement of research, also in Europe, if you want to conduct, publish, or present any research. I'll talk a bit about the Institutional Review Board, which is the IRB at Niagara University. The IRB is responsible for developing policies and guidelines in compliance with the Department of Health and Humans in the United States and the Tri-Council Policy Statement, Ethical Conduct for Research Involving Humans in Canada. The mission of the IRB involves ensuring that all research conducted at Niagara University that involves human subject comports with American and Canadian core principles, which include respect for the person, concern for subjects' welfare and justice. The IRB thus tasked with reviewing all human subject research project applications with respect to the human subject's rights and related ethical considerations. Faculty members and students who wish to conduct research under the auspices of Niagara University that involves human subjects must have their research proposals reviewed and approved by Niagara University Institutional Review Board prior to beginning their research. As per the Office of Human Resource Protection Code of Federal Regulations, the IRB shall determine that all of the following requirements are satisfied before approving any research application. Number 1, risks to subjects are minimized and do not unnecessarily expose the subject to risk. Number 2, risks to subjects are reasonable in relation to anticipated benefits, if any, to subjects and the importance of the knowledge reasonably expected to result. in evaluating risks and benefits, the IRB should consider those risks and benefits that may result from the research. Number 3, selections of subjects should be equitable. The IRB should take into account the purposes of the research and the setting in which it will be conducted, and should be particularly cognizant of the special problems of research involving vulnerable populations, such as children, prisoners, pregnant women, mentally disabled persons, or economically or educationally disadvantaged persons. When some or all of the subjects are vulnerable persons, such as these, potentially subject to undue coercion or undue influence, additional safeguards have been included in the study to protect the rights and welfare of these subjects. Number 4, informed consent will be appropriately documented. Number 5, when appropriate, the research plan makes adequate provisions for monitoring the data collected to ensure the safety of subjects. Number 6, when appropriate, there are adequate provisions to protect the privacy of subjects and to maintain the confidentiality of the data. Now, I have much more about the IRB process. If I have time later on, I will get back to it. But in essence, the IRB is in place to ensure that we protect the rights of those people who are interviewing and researching. For example, we have to, when we ask them in interviews about different things, we have to make sure that if, for example, if I am talking to a group of nurses about some of the care and the attitude of doctors, if they were to say something negative about that doctor and the doctor found out, there's a possibility that they could lose their job. So in our research with the IRB, we have to make sure that they remain unanimous, and we have to make sure that if any information did get out, they wouldn't lose their job because of it. So basically, in general, the IRB is to protect the rights of those people we're interviewing in our research. Okay. And what I'll do too, I'll send this to Dr. A so he has the full-blown IRB approval system that Niagara University works. I realize that Asia, they do not use a lot of the IRB process, but if the PhD students want to get published in international journals will not accept any submissions if there is not IRB approval. That's why I think it's important that they know about the IRB process. Part 3, APA 7th edition, formatting and referencing sources. I talked to Dr. A and he said that APA will be the format that the PhD students will use. It's a very popular one. APA stands for the American Psychological Association, and the 7th edition came out about a year ago. There's very few changes from the 6th edition, but there are changes nonetheless. For students who are going to have to use the APA, there are 2 sources. There's the APA handbook, which costs $30 and is somewhat difficult to navigate. A better reading is from Purdue University, and it's called the OWL Purdue Writing Lab. They explain things, I believe, in a much easier format than the actual APA style book does. And I'll just go over some of the things that they talk about. OWL Purdue website, and I have the website listed, so if people want to access it later on, they can. But they have a workshop, and it provides an overview of the APA style and where to find help with different APA resources. It provides an annotative list of links to all of our APA materials and an APA overview. It's an excellent place to start to learn about the APA format. Now, the APA style is most commonly used to cite sources within the social sciences. This resource, revised according to the 7th edition of the APA manual, offers example for general format of APA research papers, in-text citation, endnotes, footnotes, and the reference page. For more information, you should consult the publication manual of the APA. Now, I just want to briefly go over how to format a reference list. The reference list is at the end of your dissertation, and it should appear at the end of your paper. The reference list provides the information necessary for a reader to locate and retrieve any source you cite in the body of the paper. Each source that you cite in the paper must appear in your reference list. Likewise, each entry in the reference list must be cited in your text. Your references should begin on a new page separate from the text of the essay. You would label this page References in bold, centered at the top of the page, but do not underline or use quotation marks for the title. All text should be double spaced, just like the rest of your essay. Now, some of the basic rules for most sources. All lines after the first line of each entry in your reference list should be indented 1/2 inch from the left margin. This is called a hanging indentation. All the authors' names should be inverted. That is, the last name should be provided first. Authors' first and middle names should be written as initials. For example, the reference entry for a source written by Jane Marie Smith would begin with Smith, comma, capital J period, capital M period. If a middle name isn't available, just initialize the author's first name, Smith J. You need to give the last name and first middle initial for all authors of a particular work up to including 20 authors. This is a new rule. APA 6th edition only required the first 6 authors. You separate each author's initial from the next author in the list with a comma. Use an ampersand before the last author's name. Reference lists should be alphabetized by the last name of the first author of each work. For multiple articles by the same author or authors listed in the same order, list the entries in chronological order from earliest to most recent. When referring to the title of books, chapters, articles, reports, web pages, or other sources, capitalize only the first letter of the first word of the title and subtitle, the first word after a colon, or a dash in the title and proper nouns. Note again that the title of academic journals are subject to special rules. That's briefly a quick overview of APA style. As I said, the OWL-Purdue website gives you much more information. It's very, very user-friendly, and it is up to date with the 7th edition of APA. Part 4 in my talk is going to give you tips for navigating the PhD process. Many of the prospective PhD students today are considering the idea of combining a PhD degree with a job. Some are wondering if this is even possible. There is no simple yes or no answer to this question, as it is primarily situational depending on a number of questions. Number 1, what is the potential student's financial situation? 2, are they currently in a job they like with a great future potential? 3, is that company supportive of employees furthering their education? especially in a field that is related to their business. The trend among PhD students over the last years was to either opt for a part-time PhD and a full-time job, or completely dedicate to a full-time PhD program, keeping open the possibility of having a job or some kind of paid collaboration that requires working for only a few hours a week. A part-time PhD is another option for those who have decided to study an online degree, and this way they don't have to commute. Part-time PhDs may be the best option if you want to have a stable job. A part-time PhD would mean that it will take twice as long to complete the program, but it will also give you a few advantages. After graduation, you will not only have a PhD diploma, but you would have also added a few years of work experience to your resume. On the other hand, you should not consider that a part-time PhD is actually easier compared to a full one. Students who have decided for part-time PhD studies often find it more challenging, as this situation requires giving equal attention and importance to the study and work. A PhD degree means intensive reading and research work that involves more hours of learning compared to a bachelor's or master's degree. The biggest challenge part-time PhD students have to face is not knowing which of the two, the job and the PhD course, is more important. You should also keep in mind that some more demanding jobs often require you to stay late at the office, which lead to sacrificing the time that was supposed to be dedicated to studying for a PhD at the bottom of the list of things to do. Another concern of PhD students who are employed is when to find the time to write their PhD thesis. As they are busy with the job and always feel tired at the end of the day, they keep postponing the moment when they sit in front of their laptop or computer to start their research and writing. With a little time management and organization, a part-time PhD combined with a full-time job is not impossible. One useful tip is to try to make some of your research at the end of your working hours at the office, not when you arrive at home when you have already been too tired. You will also have to sacrifice some of your free time during weekends and in the evenings to dedicate yourself to writing the thesis. Work opportunities at university can be ideal, but for jobs from PhD students. PhD students who had the opportunity to work at a university, the same university they're enrolled in, whether as teaching assistants or in other positions, had declared it was not only a good experience, but it was also pretty well paid and usually flexible in terms of working hours. It often includes paid tuitions as well. Most universities post their job offers for students, so it's important to check out their announcements and apply in advance if you're considering these types of opportunities. Some jobs within universities involve administrative work, others are focused on lab work, and if you're lucky enough to find a position that fits your field of study, that is even better. You get to make the research for your thesis during your job and also get paid for it. Useful tips. Number one, if you get a job or collaboration that is somehow related to your PhD, this situation will be very helpful for your overall learning performance. It will keep you focused on thinking and finding new ideas for your PhD thesis, and it will increase the chances of being a top PhD student. Number two, when you consider your PhD program, pick a topic that you're passionate about, that stimulates you. Any PhD degree involves a lot of hard work, but if you select a field you really like, you will not consider your PhD as a burden or as a difficult task in the long run. Number three, find the right supervisor for your PhD thesis. Ideally, you should choose a teacher who you really admire during your PhD program or a previous degree, and that you consider you would really enjoy working with. The supervisor-student relationship is extremely important, and that will determine success of your PhD thesis. A constant dialogue and a good communication with your supervisor will help to reduce the stress and help you keep on schedule. Number 4, find out below the main things you need to consider before embarking on your PhD study journey. The PhD degree, of course, involves a lot of research and a different style of learning from your undergraduate degree. Number 5, choose a topic subject for your PhD. For some students, finding the right topic for your PhD thesis is fairly easy. For others, it may seem like a walk in a maze. In any case, you should really explore your chosen topic more in depth and see if you can eventually turn it into research questions you can address. The thesis for a doctoral program should reflect originality and validity as well. Many students start out in the beginning with a topic they think they would like to continue with, and after the first year or second year, they totally change their interest and switch to an entirely different topic. That's not always a bad thing. As students get involved in the research, they learn more about it, and it gives them a good idea if it's something they want to continue for the next few years or not. And to give you just a problem that happened with me when I was doing my PhD, at the University of Buffalo, we had 7 years to complete our degree. And like any other PhD, you can't do a topic that somebody else has already finished. So I was starting my dissertation, and I was doing the history of Blacks in Canada. And I had worked on it for about 2 years. And there was a lot of information. And then all of a sudden, the information seemed to dry up. I looked and looked, and there, did literature reviews, and I was having difficulty finding the information. Then all of a sudden, there was all kinds of information available. And I found out what happened. There was another person from the University of Toronto working on the same dissertation, and he had finished early. Therefore, I had to start all over again with a whole totally new different topic. That's one other thing I want to talk to you about too. When you do your dissertation, at the start, you have to do a dissertation search. So you search all the dissertations and ensure that you're not doing exactly the same thing somebody else did, because you're not allowed to do that. The problem is, you could do the search and you're the only one that's interested in that topic. And then a couple of months later, somebody else starts, and then they haven't finished the dissertation, so you don't know it. But if they finished before you, then you've got to find another topic. So you have to be very, very careful in your search. And that's another reason why you should finish in a timely manner. Okay. Another thing, number 6, find the best supervisor and committee members. Although the organization of doctoral education is becoming increasingly centralized, especially in European universities, the supervisor-supervised model is still growing. It goes without saying that you need to identify a supervisor who is an expert on your proposed topic, not a supervisor who has general knowledge about your subject and needs to do further research and readings in order to give you valuable instruction. This situation will certainly create a delay and a gap as you advance with your research work. However, don't underestimate the importance of good interpersonal chemistry with your supervisor. Number 7, once you've identified a possible supervisor, send them an email outlining your research interests, asking whether they might be interested in acting as your supervisor. Many universities provide you with an advisor who often ends up being your supervisor. To ensure a smooth supervision, it's important to collect some information about their personality and how they work in a supervisor context. Also, most dissertation committees are 3 people, your main supervisor and then 2 other committee members. it's very, very important that you realize, you understand if those three people get along. If those three people don't get along, they can make life miserable for you during your dissertation. So that's very, very important. I've seen it in the past, and students got caught up in the middle of the committee's internal fights, and it just really delayed the whole process for them. Number 8.
Excuse me, Dr. Mike.
Yes.
Since our Zoom system will be ending very soon,
yeah.
I think because the system already automatically set up,
okay.
I think we are planning to invite you to meet us in person for sure. Maybe after New Year, all right? So can
okay.
can you give our the conclusion within 5 minutes?
Yes,
I'm afraid we are running out of time. Sure.
Okay,
please.
fine.
Thank
okay.
You.
The last thing I want to address, and I think it's important to the BRU PhD students, is the mentorship program I set up for non-English speakers. As I said, last spring I taught ADS Global Leadership to 6 students in the PhD program. One of their assignments is to increase their cultural understanding. So I asked them to volunteer as reviewers for the BRU conference on October 21st, and also assist BRU PhD students with their research in the English language. I'm happy to report all 6 students gladly accepted the challenge. Unfortunately, the BRU conference was canceled. However, my students are still committed to serving in a mentorship capacity to assist future BRU doctoral students in need with their English. I'm also scheduled this spring to teach another 740 course, and I will again ask those students and assign them to assist BRU students, possibly reading over their work with them to help them with their grammar, spelling, punctuation, and English language. I hope BRU takes advantage of that, and I will work with Dr. A and some other members in the PhD program there. And if need be, and if they want the mentor program that I have initiated, I would be happy to work with BRU on that. All right, that's basically what I have. Dr. A, do you have any questions, or does anybody have any questions?
Can we be asked about 30 minutes, because next speaker will be Dr. Gambi from India, and then after his session, I think some of audience might be interested in asking you Professor Nini and Professor Gambi at the same time, I guess. All right,
okay,
can we be asked?
Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very so much. Nini, it's your
time to. Thank you. And anyone who have the question, please leave in the chat box first, okay? Because of limited of time, so I will move on to another special lectures on the exchange PhD program between the BRU and India, opportunities and challenges, by Professor Dr. Gambi Singh from Manipura University, India. Okay, he has been active in the university as joint directors of internal quality assurance cells and always available and cooperative in the implementation of various universities. And please meet him. Dr. Gambis. Dr. Gambis. Please turn on your microphone. Please. Okay. Welcome you.
Professor Gambi, I think not just only you here with us, you also got your colleagues from not only Manipur, but from Assam and Sri Lanka as well. So maybe you can take this time to introduce your colleague to us as well, please.
Right.
But how many minutes Dr. Gambi has,
okay.
Dr. Ek?
Right.
20 minutes.
Right.
20 minutes, please.
Okay. Yeah, is this screen visible to you all?
Yeah, coming now. Yes, please.
Okay.
Is it? Okay, but I would love to introduce my colleague, former head of the Department of Dirbrugad University, Assam, Dr. Mridul Bardalon. I saw his name. Dr. Mridul Bardaloy, you are here perhaps. And also I have seen Dr. Pratim, an associate professor from Assam. And of course, nice to see Dr. Thoranga Indika from Sri Lanka, who are pursuing for their PhD in the Department of Dance and Music, Manipur University. I have been conducting few pre-PhD coursework classes for the dance department, dance and music department, apart from English and cultural studies. And I'm also very happy to see my friend, Dr. Tikaram Paudel from Nepal. With all enthusiasm, he is attending to explore new things. When he come to know that, oh, there is a kind of possible partnership with Manipur University, So nice to see my, PhD scholars from Manipur University, and also to see some scholars who are going to work for their PhD in Buriram Rajabhat University. Kind of, atmosphere is being, worked out. Orientation program is now, running. In India, we don't do
Dr. Cambis? Dr. Cambis, I think Dr. Cambis, please turn on your microphone.
He told me yesterday that because of some cities locked down because of COVID-19 pandemic. So he told me that maybe Wi-Fi system.
Manipur is locked down. Manipur is locked down, absolutely. For 10 days, complete lockdown. So internet, electricity may go away anytime. So now, am I audible?
Now it's okay. Now it's good.
Am I audible? That's what.
But we cannot see your screen. We lost your screen.
Is it? Am I audible?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. But we cannot see your screen.
Yes, audible. We can hear you, but we cannot see your screen. We cannot see your PowerPoint.
Audible.
Yes, audible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it screen is not? Then I think what you have to make me co-host so that I can share the screen, or the mail which I have sent it to you.
Yeah.
You can also share the screen on your side. It's already sent to Dr. Akaporon.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do that because I have a backup from my tablet as well. Or if you make me co-host, I can share the screen.
Dr. Ek, so this Zoom is like provide all participants to share the screen or just only the presenters?
You please, if the host can click these 3 points, you click and then you will find co-host.
Okay. I think I will ask Ajahn Chilanket do this. Or maybe you can keep talking, sir, and then I will ask my technical team help you. Yes.
I think now I can share the screen. Is it possible?
Okay, it's coming.
It has come?
Yes.
Okay. Let me.
Yeah, full screen.
Okay, is it coming?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. The authority of Buriram Rajabhat University and the organizer. Thank you, Jenny, for introducing me. And in fact, the topic is about PhD exchange programs, possibilities and challenges between Buriram Rajabhat, Thailand, and Manipur University. And I also would like to introduce some of my friends who are from Assam. Dr. Bardaloy, is there. Dr. Pratim Sharma, both are associate professors, but Bardaloy was the former head of the department of Zinni, I think someone is making a talk in Thai language, right? little bit of disturbance is coming up. So nice to see some of the research scholars from the Department of English and Cultural Studies, Department of English, also Department of Dance and Music, Manipur University, scholars from Sri Lanka, and my friend Tikaram Paudel from Kathmandu University. And there are some students also. I will concentrate to see the possibilities also by citing an example, because without example, we don't enjoy. And I'm sure some of the scholars must be a little bit tired because program started from 1, continuing up to 3:30 is not a simple job. In Korea, they ask the students to stand up every 15 minutes. I heard from my scholars. So let's see. I think this is Manipur University and Thailand team in Shanghai Festival. Every year we have Shanghai Festival and we invite Surindra Rajabhat people. The dance department of Surindra Rajabhat and social science department, we had a kind of memorandum of understanding. This is what I'm going to highlight, and we'll try to realize the possibility post-COVID normalization and during the COVID, what we can do, right? I hope this is a Thai team in 2013. Some of my scholars working for PhD in dance department, Yerina is also there. Yerina, could you identify this? This happens in which year? Nirina?
Yes, sir.
Which year
this is 2017. It is written
2017, right? Okay. Now for every collaboration, we need funding, which is available from Indian Council for Social Science Research. So even Dr. Atit, our Achan Atit from Loy Rajabhat is working, and this time we have around 60 countries have applied, but we have not given that kind of opportunities because we want to explore more with Myanmar and Thailand. So we can explore similar funding programs for students and faculty exchange for both the universities, which is possible under the exchange program. So organizing PhD scholars interaction program virtually now is a reality or not, but we are going ahead. At the same time, after new normalization, what kind of physical interaction will give them the ambience? What kind of experience they can share is likely to be explored after this. I think all of you can see this. Zini, I think you can see this. Which dance is this?
I think it's kind of Apsara dancing.
From Thai, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the lady in the front is Dr. Jamnong Tukta, Jamnong Jankyu, a faculty of Surindra Rajabhat Thai department, dance department. So they came to India to present their dance. She was not comfortable to talk to me in English. When I approached her, she ran away because she was a bit shy, passive to reply in English. But what happened? We decided to enroll her for her PhD in the Department of Dance and Music. So we give them training for 6 months. And in 6 months, she could pick up. Now, she is a real star in Manipur University. She organized seminars, even in collaboration with, Teachers Forum in the colleges of Manipur. She have already organized 2 seminars. And she also invited many teachers from Manipur, not from the from university as well, and from the colleges also, because Surindra Rajabhat University organized, international, folk festival, dance festival, and all. So she got the PhD in 2018. She enrolled in 2014. She herself was a dancer. Like we have many PhD scholars in the dance department who completed their masters from English and other disciplines. I'm convinced that they can give presentation as well as give the performance also. So that is how we could, support and how she could grow professionally. So it was both the win-win situation for Surendra Rajabhat University and Manipur University. Like, in this kind of program, what kind of exchange is possible, we need to see, because all the speakers today have emphasized largely based on their experience. And thanks to Professor Nini Lai, and thanks to Professor, Professor from Silpakorn, right? So we can discuss about individual scholars' progress, supervisors' exchange program, because we have seen right now when Mike spoke, Mike was emphasizing about right supervisor. How can we get the right supervisor? This is also very challenging. You are very competent, very good. If the supervisor is not very enthusiastic, then you are not going to progress for your PhD. At the same time, if a scholar is hyperactive, very positive, not only in my case, I earned a lot of knowledge, lot of information through my research scholars. So sometimes research scholars, if the research scholars are good, it brings the name of the supervisor and also the name of the university. Because if they do well, they obviously will. At the same time, we need to explore the possibility of BRU and Manipur University possible post-supervisorship. Now in India, we have tie-up with other universities. I really feel proud when I see my friend, Dr. Mridul Bardaloy. He is present just to get an experience of how Buriram Rajabhat University is doing. But I have all the praise for Buriram Rajabhat University. Before the commencement of the program, you organize series of talks, series of lectures, so that PhD scholars are awakened, aware, conscious about publication, so that delay doesn't happen. In India, sometimes a scholar, PhD, continues to work for 7 years and 8 years. But we should not wait, because in your case, slightly different. Here, most of the students get scholarship. They want to wait for the scholarship, right? And for waiting for the scholarship, they don't like to make the progress. So it's a bet about giving scholarship. So all those possibilities we can work out, and at the same time, how we can share our experience with a junior faculty member. Say, for example, Dr. Akaparon, Dr. Atan Ik has been invited in India many times, and he will be invited further because he has a lot of skill. A person's skill is illustrated through writing or illustrated through activities. So what kind of thinking we have, how we plan. Without proper planning, things cannot move ahead. You may have thousands of scholars. If the organizers are not competent to pick up right at the right moment and to push in the right speed, we don't progress. So the input from the vice president, the input from the dean, the input from the faculty like Zini, all this combined together, you are doing this program successfully. Therefore, we need to share the experience. Usually may be useful for the junior faculty members or the research scholar. Therefore, I have also started practicing getting involved the PhD scholars, leave them to organize something. We are initiating. And also, other possibilities will be worked out. Now by doing that, we can see the growth of the faculty members. We can help the grow, and we can groom the faculty members, both universities. And also, I'm happy Professor Nini has been encouraging many teachers from Thailand. Whenever I send her a kind of link, she immediately share, and many teachers from Myanmar, they willingly join. So we learn all the time. I was not born expert. I failed many times in my 10th exam. But that failure have made me a successful person when it comes to the question of professional teaching. As such, we can think about those things. I will discuss later on, but balances the quality of PhD studies in the institute is one area which we need to explore by creating a meaningful academic environment to create an ambience. When I ask the question, if students does not respond, that means I'm successful or not is not determined. When if there are questions and queries, it obviously helps us to assess ourselves. So creating an environment, viable academic environment through virtual meetings or exchanges should be there. This is a point which I would like to mention. And of course, from those environments, we are aware how to get published. And I would like to thank Buriram Rajabhat University, Dr. Nguyen Lau, and yesterday, Dr. Gilbert. They have spoken on effective publication on, Scopus. You talk about Scopus in Thailand. In India, we talk about UGC, University Grants Commission's care listed journal. It may not be in the Scopus, but the processes are almost similar. Because now we don't go for Scopus. Scopus is very costly for us, for Indian, like Myanmar scholars, right? Sometimes when we wait to get it published, it takes 2 years. So a student PhD scholar who have completed a PhD in India, we have a rule that unless 2 papers are published, they cannot submit their PhD thesis. Let's say they have completed their PhD. So we have UGC care listed journal. And Dr. Mridul Bardaloy is one. Their English department also has a journal on UGC care listed journal with ISSNM. And in future, we can collaborate and think what they do, how you do. There may be room for learning, creating, so that scholars become aware of what is happening in and around the globe, how you are conducting and how we are implementing the things. Therefore, publication in terms of research journals are important. But for the faculty members, is a professor from Silpokon was referring, publication is important for us. We have to get some chapters published so that our upward mobilities are assured, which is expected even from research scholars, because we have a lot of research scholars who are the faculty members. Now, the question is, can they work together on publishing the PhD research related issues, right? Say, for example, Cambridge University and Oxford University, they have a policy that all the PhD theses or dissertations they compile, edit, because it is a property of the university, and they get it published and earn money, and they generate the fund and they give the sponsor, they give the scholarship to other countries also. In Manipur University, we have a publication committee, but the publication sale is not working for the time being. I don't know how it is being practiced in Dibrugarh, Guwahati, and other universities in Northeast India, but it is being practiced. So both the universities can work together, and also in research committee I can put Dr. Achan in our research committee, or you can ask one of our faculty members in your research committee, so that we learn each other. Without knowing what is the good and what is bad, we don't learn. Therefore, evaluating the PhD dissertation, whether you call defense, whether we call end semester or 3 monthly presentation, or pre-submission presentation, we can exchange our views and allow to be participated, so we know each other. Without knowing the weakness, we cannot improve. When we know the weakness, then only we can fill up that. So that is. Now look at ELT research at Manipur University. From Buriram also, so I'm sorry I'm unable to visit, but I hope as and when the next opportunity comes, I will visit, because apart from cultural exchange program, what I desire, what I want for academic exchange is found very active, alive in Buriram Rajabhat University. I am, promoting Buriram Rajabhat University because you are very, very potential, right? So we can think about a joint venture. We can approach, education center, and if the proposal is good, we are welcome. So we can have a joint write-up. Otherwise, we have seen many memorandum of understanding, MOUs, because we need to promote our universities for international ranking. But basically, it is there. We don't implement. So we have to think about practical, ways and means to get them implemented. So this is one area, because you have started ELT, English language teaching, research at, Buriram Rajabhat University. We have also have, 1 or 2 faculties and very good research scholars. And research scholars are the strength, right? I may be good as a professor. I can command. But if our scholars are not active, if they remain passive, nothing will come except giving the, certificate and degree, right? So we have to be more productive. As such, we can think about more collaborative in nature, right? This is Manipur University campus where Jamnong Tukta participated. And also, I think your friend, Dr. Virod came to teach Thai language. We opened, but Thai language is now discontinued because of reasons. We are planning to open Thai language also, if possible. And this is where we have to plan. So translation mission can be created. Why translation? I had a talk with Dr. Nini also, Professor Nini also today in the morning. There are a lot of cultural affinities, similarities with Thai, Northeast Indian, particularly the Thais, or like me, my Thais, or other ethnic communities, or cookies. So much of similarity. The folk song, something like, which is being practiced in many provinces of Thailand, seems to be quite similar. And also, we can explore possible similarity. If the translation mission is created, we can engage. You are going to have 12 Myanmar research scholars, all teaching in other universities. We can explore their skill. Translation is one of the best method in English language teaching. Though translation approach is considered to be outdated and old, but people cannot leave translation method. We have to improve. Google Translation is even working successfully, but then translation with method with the modified, we can think about creating a visible, possible songs or Thai language, or Thai folk tales or folk stories, Myanmar folk tales or folk stories. If you happen to see the research work of Jamnong Tukta, the various dance form, which is being practiced in North, Surin and Buriram is presented. I felt so wonderful. I wanted to do the recording. So Thai and Myanmar languages from Buriram is now possible. You have at least 4 or 5. You will have a good, strong team of, Myanmar scholars. So this is a kind of opportunity from Buriram University, which you can explore for the first time. And once if it is available in Hindi, we can think about translating all those things to Hindi or other Northeast Indian languages. Because, India is a multilingual, country. So in northeastern part of India, we have a lot of, we give emphasis to English language. And that's why I feel our students are quite compatible. And we don't have, without having any foreigners teachers, foreign teachers, we are even doing well and communicable. They are doing pretty well. So this is one of the, I'm just exploring because 20 minutes is allotted, and further we can interact at various levels of committees, and we can form subcommittees which will decide for the practical and viable, meaningful implementation. As I mentioned, we can have planning. Dream is okay. I may have money, but if I have a dream, money. There are some scholars probably in Myanmar. They have a dream to become a Ph.D. They are financially not sound. but their dream is the driving force. Because of that dream, in order to get the PhD, they will somehow manage the money and come to your university. I mean, the possibility. Myanmar is just away from my university. Across the border, there is a Tamu Town International kind of, which is coming up in a big way. And when we dream about Asian connections, Myanmar geographically is so important. We have to remain positive. We have to remain, safe and sound, so that, the pandemic, we have to see when the pandemic is over. But in India, we are planning by November end, vaccination will be over. By January, opening will take place. A rigorous kind of vaccination is going on. So I told Professor Dr. Achan Ik that I'm not very sure today. Internet may be a kind of problem. Electricity may be a problem, and we need to explore further. And some scholars wants to know whether you have dance and music department or not. Some students, they have done their MA in English. They are doing research. I have seen your music department playing guitar. The friend who came to Mandalay University, and one of our faculty, the lady who gave a dance demonstration, is now heading the department, Dr. Lilabati, right? So all those possibilities, not only confined to the English department and ELT, because ELT, English language for communication and explore other, to navigate and also to collaborate, to coordinate English language, because English does not belong to America. English does not belong to England. English belongs to the speakers. We use English. That's why variety of Englishes are coming up. But we have to see that the language we speak, the language we write is properly followed, intelligible to all of us. Therefore, a global English is coming, whereby British English is being discarded, though people love British English, and we don't know English is expanding like anything. So this is, of course, another issue, but we can dream and think about all those possibilities. And I'm very happy that Dr. Akaparon have asked me to speak about possible collaboration. When we have agreed, and I will ask our authority also to involve, we need to work out where are the possibilities. Then we can think about real implementation of the collaboration. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, Dr. Akaparon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your talk today. So exploring sharing is very important for us. So between MU and BRU, I think we will have the cooperative knowledge together in the near futures. So we will leave the question at the end of Dr. Naomi or Dr. Mark's section. So our next speaker, last but not least, okay, is a topic of learning management of a PhD in ELT at BRU by Assistant Professor Dr. Nawamin Prachanan. And he is with us now. So right now he is the Vice President for International Affairs and also the Chair of Master Degree of Education Program in English Language Teaching, ELT Education. And he finished his PhD in English Language Study from Suranari University of Technology, Thailand. So, Dr. Mark,
yes.
Dr. Mark, are you ready now?
Okay, right.
Please welcome. Start your speech.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
It's coming, sir.
Yes.
Okay, clearly seen now.
Okay. Good afternoon, right? I think that we have two now, Professor Nini and Professor Gramby.
Yes.
And then the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Science, and then our beloved students. Okay, I think that you get some idea from 4 professors, okay, around the world, okay, how to learn or how to study, okay, PhD in the time, okay, that we allocate for you. Okay, so for me, okay, I will talk about learning management of PhD at BRU. Okay, actually, okay, I have many topics, but Dr. A, okay, gave give me just only 15 minutes. Okay, I try my best, okay, to talk about its in-depth detail about the curriculum. All right, it's a very direct to your, okay, study. Okay, so I try to cover 8 of them, right? So shall we start with the first one, about our curriculum? Okay, just you can see, right, for our curriculum here, we have 2 plans or 2 tracks. The first one, plan 1.1, is about only research. Okay, this is about just only for the applicants who have got at least 2 article publication in Scopus journal. Okay, and then the second one, okay, just your plan for 18. Okay, of them, plan 2.1. Okay, you will study the subject, okay, about five courses, right, for compulsory, 4, and then 1 elective courses, and then you have to do the thesis for 36 credits, and then the very important one is qualifying examination. Okay, after you finish your coursework, and then the total credits, okay, for track 1.1 is 48, and then for track 2.1, 51. Okay, just take a look for the course here. Okay, just our plan, okay, that you will spend 3 years, it's a 3-year program, okay, of PhD in our university. For year 1, okay, you will study 2 semesters. The first one, just we start yesterday, right? There are 2 courses, okay, for the first semester. The first one is analysis of advanced linguistics in English language teaching, and then advanced methodology and innovation. And for the second semester, okay, you will study 2 courses as well. Okay, the first one, advanced research methodology and statistics, and then elective course. We have 5 elective courses that you can choose one. Okay, and then for year 2, okay, for the first semester, you will study one course, okay, seminar in teaching world English. It's a new one. I think it's very up to date, right? Okay, and then you will start to do your thesis. Actually, you will start at the second semester of year 1, and then for year 2, okay, after that you will do your thesis, and then year 3, okay, and then you can complete thesis work. So you can spend about 3 years, but our university allow you to do, okay, for 6 years, 3 to 6 years, right? This is the course, the elective course that you can choose, okay, one, okay, to study for the next semester, right? There are 5, okay, you can talk to each other and then to choose one. Okay, they are very interesting one. For example, the first one is about academic writing, especially for research work. And then the second one, okay, that's very important, okay, translation and interpretation for ELT. And then the third one, development and design of advanced ESP course. And then testing, evaluating, and assessment for English language teaching outcome. And then the last one, seminar in intercultural communication for English language teaching. For the next one is about the tuition fee. Okay, just you okay, paid, okay, some of you, okay, paid last Friday, but we extend, okay, because of the dean, okay, negotiate with the university. So we extend to 20th of July. So there are 3 fees, okay, that you have to pay for, right? The first one, fee for matriculation. Okay, they are different between Thai and non-Thai students, right? That you can see for the Thai, okay, 18,000, okay, for the beginning when you enter to be our student, and then for non-Thai, just Myanmar student, okay, you have to pay about 25,000. Okay, thank you very much for Professor Nini for your cooperation, okay, with Dr. A, okay, to do about that. And then for the package that you have to pay, right? This is the package or a lump sum free, okay? For Thai student, you have to pay about 300,000 baht, okay, as a package, and then you have to pay about 50,000 Thai baht, okay, each semester. You have to pay 6 semesters. And then for the non-Thai student, okay, you have to pay about 400,000 Thai baht, or it's about 68,000 Thai baht, right, for the first 5 semesters, and then for 60,000 baht, okay, for the last semester, right? And then for each semester, the student have to pay for the special service about 5,000 baht in each semester. And then because we have the MOU, and then Dr. Ek can consider about that and talk in more detail with Professor Nani, and then to talk with our president. Okay, we can negotiate about that. So now we are in the BRU study calendar for the first semester of 2021. Okay, I just highlight, okay, actually there are 16 weeks for study in each semester. And then for the red one, okay, from week 1 to week 8, that you can see from your schedule, right? You will study 2 courses. So for the first 8 weeks, okay, now we just is a preparation period. Our program led by the Dean of the HUSOC, right? Will organize the webinar for you, okay, to prepare you, okay, to understand more about PhD study, right? Just like today and the last 2 webinars. And then for week 9, okay, we will start it, okay, from 8:50 a.m. until 4:20 p.m. Actually, we will start at 9 a.m. and finish around 4:30 p.m. right, on Saturday and Sunday, right here. And then for the course that we learn here, okay, we just that we use the block code system just only to finish in each, okay, course first, but we adapt a little bit about that. For us, okay, we study one subject on Saturday and 1 subject on Sunday. Okay, so you have your plan if you take a look for the schedule. And then since we are in the COVID-19 pandemic, okay, we use the online mode. Okay, maybe I think that all semester, right, until at the end. And then for the classroom activity, I think that just different from master degree or bachelor degree. We focus on lecture. I think that more than 20 lecture. Is mean the lecturer can act as a facilitator, okay, to stimulate you to make the discussion. Okay, we use discussion about 40%, and then we focus on presentation. Maybe you can work in pair, okay, or in group, okay, and present, and then to discuss about the thing, especially for ELT in the present time, right? This is the learning management in our university. And then just for the schedule, just I told you, okay, we will start to the course, 2 courses, right? From week 9, okay, on Saturday, 18 September, okay, 2021. Okay, for the black one, okay, will be taught by 3 lecturers. The first one, Assistant Professor Dr. Akapron Mai Hom. The second one, Assistant Professor Dr. Kampirapap Intanu. And the last one, Associate Professor Dr. Singhanat Nom Niem. Okay, the Thailand TESOL president at the present time, right? He is from Mahidol University. He will help, okay, teach analysis of advanced linguistics in ELT. And for the red one, advanced methodology and innovation in ELT, okay, will be taught by I myself, okay, Assistant Professor Dr. Navamin Pachanan, and then Assistant Professor Dr. Shuket Charat, and then the last one, Assistant Professor of Apisak Sukying. He is the chair of PhD ELT, okay, from HUSOC University. So this is a next maybe 2 months, okay, you will start the class here. And then after you study the coursework, okay, within 1.5 years, okay, or three semesters, and then before you defend your viva, the very important one is about qualifying examination, or we call QE. What is QE like? Because now you are PhD students, and then if you take the qualifying examination, your status will be PhD candidate. It means that you are ready to be the PhD, right, person, right? So for this one, you will take the QE in semester 4 in year 2 at the second one that we plan. Okay, and QE include 2 things. Okay, the first one, the content of our major is about ELT, English language teaching. And then the second one is about research and statistics in ELT. So there are 2, okay, contents, okay, aspect that you have to take. So you have to be ready to look for more information to change your status from PhD student to be PhD candidate. And then for the QE, we require you to pass it, okay, within 7 semesters. So it means that within 3.5 years, you have to pass it. And then the PhD student can take not more than 3 times. Just we try to, okay, what is it, to let you to take it. I think that the first one you can pass. Okay, this is confirmed by the chair of the program, right? Okay. After that, right, for our ELT research work, the trends that you should do, actually, when you study PhD, the last thing that we need, the thing that we need is at the bottom. You have to build up your new knowledge of your new body of knowledge. So it means that you have to create about the new model or the theory, right? To find the new one, the new things. Okay, this is about study PhD, right? So before you go there, you can think about your topic under English language teaching. So it involved with teaching and learning English language, right? So you can do everything about that. For example, for the language, you can focus on skills, 4 macro skill and plus 2 listening, speaking, reading, writing, and vocabulary and grammar. Or you can conduct with literature, okay, about prose and poetry, something like that. Or you can focus on non-skill related, for example, English linguistics, phonetics, both macro and micro linguistics. For example, phonetics, okay, morphology, something like that. Or for macro is about sociolinguistics or psycholinguistics. And then, or you can focus on professional related, for example, ESP, English for specific purposes, English for occupational purposes, or English for academic purposes, right? Here, for example, English for school administrator, English for hotel manager, or something like that. Or you can study, you can do about the factor related to English language learning, for example, about motivation or maybe attitude or something like that. And then you have to think about the new body of knowledge. You have to use them, okay, just to teach or to train or to survey, to analyze, or to do about that, to get the new model or theory. This is the last one that we need. Okay, I will talk a little bit about how to choose a research topic. The first one, okay, when you think about that, now in the 8th week, okay, you can think about your research topic too, because we try to fulfill you. okay, you can choose by your own, because we can see from your concept paper, right? And then you can consult with your advisor, and then if you cannot, you can get the topic from the advisor, right? This is by yourself, you can find. Just very important, you can read more thesis and articles. This is very important, right? Because I still believe that reading makes perfect. So you can read everything, just Dr. BB mentioned, right? And then the second one we try, especially for the dean, he tried to organize or hold the seminar, to attend the seminar or conferences, especially for webinar. It's very easy to get some idea. And then you can use a professor or the graduate student. Just we are very lucky that Dr. Gramby will cooperate with us, and then we will let the graduate student to talk or to exchange or to share our idea together, and then we can get more detail. For the criteria, just you can see your interest, the hotness, because here we focus on English is a lingua franca over Englishes. So this is about the hotness. Okay, you can study more about English as a lingua franca or ELF, okay, or over Englishes, right? It's about the originality or not, its origin or not, and then you have to think about. I think that there are many resources, right? Just we can find it from the World Library, just like internet. And then the time frame, how long will you spend with arts? 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and 6 years. Dr. Ek want you to spend with us not more than 4 years, right? Okay, 3 and 4 as enough. And your funding, okay, right? Sometimes you have to spend more money to travel for collecting the data. Sometimes you have to think about that, right? And then this is, I can summarize the thing that you have to do for your PhD at BRU. Just only 6 things that you can do. And then you can plan from now, from tomorrow onwards. The first one, you will study coursework, okay, for 1.5 years. And then after that, for semester 4, right, you will take the qualifying examination to change your status from PhD student to be PhD candidate, okay? And then after that, when you pass the QE, you can defend your proposal. And then after that, just our requirement, you have to publish your article, at least 2 articles. The first one, this is our requirements. You should publish the first the article publication, maybe attend the international conference. Maybe Dr. Ek will organize in somewhere, and then let us to join. Okay, maybe in Myanmar, right? Okay, because it's the student from Manipur can come and from Thailand can go. Okay, and then the second one, okay, is a full one. This is the second article publication in the recognized journal, at least TCI one. TCI, it means Thai Citation Index, right? So, but we hope that you can publish your article in the Scopus articles. And then the last one, to do your viva, right, or your 5 chapter, and then you can graduate and then celebrate to each other. So this is the last one, that the timeline for you, that I just want to fix, okay, with 3 years, right? Because it's 3-year program. For the first year, you can study coursework and then read literature related to your interest. Read more, just I told you, reading makes perfect. Literature is being the document related to your study. And then the second year, you can study coursework and then read more literature related to your interest. And then you can take your QE, and then you can defend your proposal. And then the first article of you can be publicized. And then for the 3rd year, okay, you can do your viva, 5 chapter defense, and then maybe the second article, okay, you can get them published, and then you can graduate, and then we will celebrate together. It can be flexible because it's about the tentative, okay, timeline. But I do hope that you can follow this one. Okay, and how about after COVID-19? Okay, just we mentioned, okay, the last one. Okay, actually we really want, okay, our student, especially from Myanmar, to visit BRU once, okay, in your life, maybe for the second year, or maybe when the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic disappear, you can come here. We can study on site. Okay, because we prepared the Phnom Penh Hotel as building one, okay, for the international students with the not expensive one, maybe not more than 4,000 or 3,000 baht per month, right? Maybe stay alone or in pair, something like that. And then we try to help you about English proficiency test ability. Just we mentioned that in Thailand, the student, especially for the PhD, okay, have to achieve, okay, their English ability, at least C1 or something like that. And then you can take TOEFL or IELTS, or we have BRU English test, okay, and then we can train you, help you to do that. And the last one, just we really want, and then the chair of the program really want to study trip abroad, right? Maybe we can organize or to let you to take a look, to have a chance, okay, to see, okay, the language, English language teaching and learning in overseas, maybe in America, to visit Professor Dr. Smith, or to visit India, right? Dr. Gramby, or to visit Myanmar, right? To Professor Nini. Okay, I think that's all, because I spent nearly 20. And then if you have any question, I think it's clear, okay, for our timeline, okay, for study here. Okay, thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Mark. So, Dr. Ek, Dr. Ek, so now we have only 10 minutes. So
10 minutes, yeah.
Yes.
So I think if they have some questions or some queries, they can send their questions directly to me. All right, I will forward
that's
this to a specific speaker. If they would like to ask Dr. Mike, Professor Nini, Dr. Mark, Professor Gambi, just send your questions and forward this to her or to him directly. All right, and then I will get the answer back and send back to you. All right. Thank you very so much. And next will be, what's that?
Yeah, it's a time for our new PhD student to get to know each other. So I think we have 18 students, right? So the best way is, I think that your friends will really want to see your face. So please turn on your cameras and then just introduce yourself, because we have just like 9 minutes now. So in brief, like your name, where you're from, and also if you work a full-time job, where you work, and then just like the contact way to chat or to talk in your groups. Okay, so start from, who is going the first one? Annie, because I don't have your names.
Okay, maybe I'll ask
Dr. Ek, you have
one by one. First, I think Thai student, Yongyut, you are first. Then Yongyut from Rajabhat University.
Yongyut,
sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's James.
Yes. James.
Okay, sorry, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is James. You can call me James. I'm a lecturer of the Business English major. Okay, I'm so glad to be part of this PhD program, and I hope our challenging way is ahead of us, and we are so excited to do that. And okay, I and my classmates will be very good students for you all. Okay, that's it for now. Okay, if I have any questions, I will do it later. But actually, I have a lot. Yes, I have a lot. As I'm a new PhD student, I do have a lot of questions. But for the time being, okay, I just introduce myself for now. Thank you.
So I'm going to provide a specific session for all of you again. All right. Thank you very so much for your interesting introduction. Ajahn Siddhisak, please, Assistant Professor Dr. Siddhisak. So Dr. Jinny, I have their name list in my hand. So I will call.
Okay.
I will call them one by one.
That's very good.
All right,
Thank you.
Siddhisak, please.
Sawasdee krap. Did you hear me clearly, sir?
Yes, very clear.
Okay. The dean and the dean of HUSOC-BRU and the chair, assistant professor Dr. Akrapon Nermehom, Professor Nini, Professor Smith, Professor Gambi, and assistant professor Dr. Naumin Prachanan. I am assistant professor Siddhisak Phongpui. Okay, I'm really glad to be the PhD ELT student, and nice to meet everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, next, Ajahn Samyong, please. Samyong Som-in.
Oh, Ajahn Samyong too.
Ajahn Samyong. Ajahn Samyong, Ajahn Samyong. Samyong, can you hear me?
Turn on your microphone, please.
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Somyong Sovin. I come from Buriram, Rajabhat University. Usually, I am a teacher in English program in this university. Okay. First of all, I am really pleased to join this program for doctor. Okay. If normally I have a lot of the question, but I cannot ask now. So I will ask directly for another time. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ajahn Sudha, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very clearly.
Okay, let me introduce myself. I'm Ajahn Sudha Buntri from BRU. You can call me Jida in short. So I'm a lecturer for Business English program. This is nice to meet you all and hope to see you soon in Thailand.
Thank you. Ajahn Sirapapa from Surin Rajabhat University.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sure, yeah.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Sirapapa Laranamkan. I am a lecturer at Surin Rajabhat University in Bachelor of Education in English. And nice to meet you all and hope to meet everyone soon in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very so much. Ajahn Vipaphon from Prakonchai School.
Swadika.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am very glad to meet you all. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Mrs. Vipaphon Dengsi. I am an English teacher. I teach at Prakonchai Vidyakom School. I work as a teacher in a high school. And my goal, that's why I want to continue study Ph.D. in English program, because I want to improve my English in a higher level. And moreover, I want to get knowledge from this to share with my friend. And moreover, I want to focus to improve to develop my student, to share my knowledge to my student. This is my goal. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very so much. These are the 6 students from different institutions. Thank you so much for your personal introduction. Next, it will be our friend from Myanmar, Thandate, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly, yes.
Minglava. I am Thandate, a lecturer from University of Medicine, Macquarie. I'm working under University Ministry of Health and Sport, Myanmar. So I would like to thank to my dearest teacher and Dr. Ige, and to everyone, and have to thank for your effective and informative talk for us. So very thankful to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Next is Mary. Mary, it's your turn now. Mary, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly. Yes, clearly.
Good afternoon to all my respected teacher from BRU and my mentor and Professor Nini Lai from Myanmar. I'm very excited and happy to meet you all. And please may I introduce myself. I'm now serving under the Faculty of Social Science. I'm associate professor, head of the Department of English head of the Department of Ma Bin University and the Ministry of Education, Higher Education, Myanmar. Happy to meet you all. If we come to BI, tell us.
Yes, she is associate professor. All right. I think after PhD, she will become professor, full professor. So Sirapapa, you are very lucky to have professor as your friend. All right. Okay, next will be Me Tasu.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Me. Hello, Me.
Yes. So firstly, I wish all of you Minglavam. Yes. Yes. So I'm really happy to see all of you here. And firstly, I would like to express my special thanks to all my respected professors from Thailand, so Buriram Rajabhat University, and then so Professor.
Okay, that's good pronunciation.
Oh my God! No, I'm just trying to pronounce the university name very clearly and in a correct way. Okay.
Yes, good.
Yes.
Appreciate. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. My name is Mitesu. There's everyone that you can call me May. So it is very easy to call me, right? So I am an assistant lecturer from Mandalay University of Foreign Languages. So I have maybe more than 6 years experience of teaching English as a foreign language. So I'm really happy to pursue my PhD degree at Buriram Rajabhat University, and then so I'm really hope the COVID-19 pandemic would be over very soon, because I would like to come to you very quickly. That's why. So yes. Okay.
We are waiting for that. Yeah,
yes,
we are waiting for that time.
Yeah.
Thank you very so much, May. Thank you very so much. So next will be Shaw Isu. Shaw Isu. That's correct pronunciation. Shaw Isu.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello. Yes, Shaw Isu.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon. Nice to meet you all. I'm Choi Su, associate professor from University of Computer Studies from Myanmar. I'm so happy to see you all, and then also attending today's webinars that meets all of the PhD ELT candidates needs, and I'm so happy and excited to attend this class to Thai. So, and then also I promise I try the best, and Dr. Kambi have already said that we are not born as an expert, so we need to learn more and more. So that's why I promise I try the best as much as I can. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very so much. You also are a would-be professor within 3 years. Wow, you are associate professor. Thank you. We are very lucky in our group. There are 2 associate professors. Wow, thank you. So next will be Yimon Show. Yimon Show, please.
Yes, may I wish you all of you Mingalaba.
Mingalaba. Sawadee.
I'm from Myanmar, and my name is Miss Yimoncho. And how can I feel that I'm really very excited, and I'm also very happy, because it's a great chance for me to meet all of you. So my heart goes to my special thanks to our teacher, Professor Ninila, and everybody here. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very so much. Next, I might I guess. Ima. Ema was how do you pronounce? That's correct pronunciation. I'm not sure. Ema. Yes, Ema. Yeah. Yes, please. Emma, please.
Introduce yourself, please.
Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, nice to meet you all. I am Emma, a tutor from Munich University of Myanmar. I'm really grateful to all the respected teachers from BRU and our professor, Donini Lai. I'm really excited.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, thank you very so much.
I really hope to see you all in BRU.
Sure. Yes, thank you. Thank you. So next will be Tin Win. Tin Win.
Mingalava.
Mingalava. Yeah, Mingalava. You are from Kachin State, I guess.
Yes,
right?
yes, sir. So I hope you visit my Kachin State next time after pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I invest.
Nice to meet you all.
Would invest and behind your back. They're very nice.
It is unchanged with your background.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Okay, nice to meet you all. I'm Tin Win. I'm assistant tutor. Assistant lecturer from Mandalay University of Distance Education. So I would like to express my special thanks to all teachers from BRU University, and then Dr. Gambia and my respected teacher, Professor Nini Lai. And also thanks for organizing such kind of meeting and sharing. And then thank you for attending this how can I say this affective meeting. Yes, webinar.
Okay, webinar.
I feel excited.
Okay,
I'm looking forward to seeing you as soon as in the future. So I hope so the pandemic has overcome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Chin Win. Next will be Kinyadana. Kinyadana Pai, I guess. Kinyadana Pai. Kinyadana Pai. Yes, I think. Next.
Kinyadana Pai.
Kinyadana Pai. Kinyadana Pai. Yeah, Kinyadana Pai. Kinyadana Pai. Is she here?
Where are you? We cannot see you.
Yeah, maybe she's. So maybe we can move to Oma Chen. Oma Chen. Oma Chen.
No.
Oma Chen. Oma Chen and Winkin Sandashit. 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 Can you hear me, Sandashit?
Maybe no.
What about Oma Win? Maybe because of internet connection, also some cities in Myanmar locked down. Yes, the last student will be Onma Win. No.
Is absent, sir.
Oh, okay. So some of our students, about 3, maybe internet system not so good in some city in Myanmar, like in India. So next time for sure, we are going to invite them to introduce yourself. All right, Ajahn Jinny. So now we are going to end our webinar. We want to say something.
Yes. So thank you for your participation and attention. So I hope that this webinar today has
Marvin, yeah.
I think somebody come. Someone come, please.
Yes.
Finally. Okay, finally.
Yeah, finally we got her. Marvin.
Marvin, yes, yeah.
Oh, hi. Yes, please introduce yourself.
Please.
Yes, I am on my way from Pakogu.
Pakogu, all right.
I am assistant or associate professor.
Wow, you are assistant professor.
University. In what?
Okay. Yeah, we can. Yeah. Thank you very so much.
Some problem with the internet.
Yeah, maybe internet problem. Maybe internet problem. Yeah, understood this situation. Yes. Thank you very so much for your great effort. Yes, Omar Win. Yes. Okay, Professor Nini, you also be with us until the end of the session. So appreciate your huge contribution, Professor Nini. All right. Thank you very so much. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so we have reached the end of our webinar. So may I invite Assistant Professor Dr. Akaraphon Maihom HUSOC-BRU to deliver a closing remark, please.
Yes, officially. All right. So on behalf of the organizing committee of this webinar, on behalf of Buriram Rajabhat University, Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Ph.D. curriculum program, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to all of you for your great efforts and huge contribution. Without you, I don't think this webinar can be possible. For our 18 students, I would recommend you to set your own group line. You can discuss among yourself because something is top secret. You don't want me to know about your things, all right? You don't want me, Professor Nini and other professor interfere something. So I would recommend you to set your own line and discuss in your group. If you would like to ask some question, maybe you can send your representative to ask me, at Professor Nini, at Dr. Namamin. We are very pleased to answer you. I also talked to them in that after this session, we are going to provide a special session for you because now some of you have so many questions in your mind, right? But because of the time is running out, unfortunately today, so next time for sure, we are very pleased to ask all questions raised by you, all right? Last but not least, your great performance today, very high appreciated. I would like to thank you once again, and I would like to wish you stay healthy and be safe from COVID-19. Thank you very so much. It's time to say goodbye. Bye-bye. Swadee krab. Take care.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you. Ginny, the great MC. Thank you very so much. Thank you. You have done such a great job. Thank you. Thank you. See you next time for sure. Bye-bye.